for another episode of Top 5 Live, episode 59. We deep in these trenches right now, man.
Getting there.
Episode 59. As you can see, my big bro, top right, Javon O. Stokes. And we put in whatever we want for the O. So tonight is gonna be Orenthal. Yeah,
Orenthal.
yeah, yeah. Javon Orenthal.
Outstanding. That's
Yes.
the O for outstanding.
No. Orenthal.
Nah, I said what I said. I said
And
what I said.
and we got Rock back in the building tonight, bro. Like you know when
Hey.
Rock come through, man. You know when Rock come through is about to get serious. You know what I'm saying? So, and last time she told us she was coming through, she said she was gonna slap us in the mouth, and she sure enough did. Like it was.
She
That was
took that dub.
Yeah, she beat the brakes off us, bro. Like we stole something, literally. So
And
that
I
was actually
had
the
to
worst.
do that
I was actually really upset that you didn't come back on the next week to defend your crown. You literally took your dub and walked away for like months.
And she mashed us good. Like that. The part that gets me is that like she called it. You know what I'm saying? Like how you playing pool and you got to call corner pocket or whatever. She called her pocket and splashed it. Like literally water came out of the hole and everything. I was like, good God, boy, that was the worst poll of all time. And that's crazy. So hats off to the queen. Hats off to the queen. So episode 59, we back in here. Let me update this score.
Go on and put that dub right there. Go on and do that.
I am gonna
smashing.
start putting dubs.
I'm smashing them right now.
I am gonna start putting dubs up here and stuff.
I just want to point out. I told people before that I'm right most of the time. That I win these things most of the time.
You're not,
and Morgan was like, "Nah, that ain't right. That's ain't
I'm not going all the way back in the annals. I'm not going all the way back in the annals.
I'm pretty sure if you go back far enough, it's gonna look the same, sir.
I doubt it. I doubt it, but you got it right now. So I will take my hats off as needed. So episode 59, we are jumping into this one. I think is going to be deep and it's going to be interesting. But we're doing top 5. I try to make it concise and say relationship necessities. So what I mean is like top 5
romantic.
Yes, romantic relationship necessities. So like, and it means, you know what I mean? Like, what are the top 5 traits, characteristics, aspects needed in a romantic relationship for it to be good, flourishing, happy? You know what I mean? Like, what are those things? What are those 5 things? And I think it's gonna get good. So, of course, I had to get Rock.
Yeah, there's a difference.
I had to get Rock in here. I had to get Rock in here for that because it can't be a bunch of dudes on here talking about that. So I'm very thankful to the Queen for coming back. Also, we have two other special guests tonight.
Just one.
I
couldn't do it. I tried.
All right.
She got work to do. Okay, She gonna come on. She'll try and come on another time.
We thought Queen Stokes was coming through here tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we had to give her more time. You can't just come up at the day of. We had to come up with it more.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I got it. And we'll take that. But we're looking forward to the day that she decides to grace us with her presence. Queen Stokes was supposed to come through, but she had things to do. But Queen Quick will be on tonight. So, is there a difference, Kenny? I'll answer that in a minute. Let me get everything out. So that's what we're doing for the list. I'm very sure it's going to be really good. And more importantly, good. Like it will be helpful to somebody else in their relationship and them pursuing a relationship. And me and Rock are holding it down for the single crew, bro. Like unless Rock been jumped in something that I don't know about. You know what I'm saying? That's entirely possible. I don't know. Oh,
do we need a?
I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I'm holding it down.
Roxy was real quiet right there.
That's what I'm saying. I am holding it down for those.
She was like, "Oh, he's holding it down for the single crew."
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It was a moment of silence right there. That wasn't because somebody died. About? Yeah, it was a moment.
Roxy, is he tall? Just tell us, is he tall?
I had a Beyonce moment. You Beyonce, do you?
Okay.
Is he tall? Is he tall enough for you? I'm just saying.
That is a valid
I'm
question.
never gonna let Roxy live that down. She was just like, what did you say?
Y'all were
She was
short,
like 5. She was like 5'10" and below and short. I was like, damn. I was like, dang.
And you just got to eat it too. Ain't nothing you can say back. Like,
I was like, dang, I'm short.
Yeah, it's like, I
was like, I've rarely been called short in my life.
I dated short guys like regularly, so.
All right, well,
ain't nothing wrong with us.
Her short got to be like, it's a different definition to it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
her short is average size.
I'm almost 6 feet tall.
I know, but
yeah,
I'm
you're tall.
Yeah,
that don't mean that we short.
I mean, kind of.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
There's a medium. There's a place between tall and short.
I guess I don't know. That conversation was
funny,
hilarious
man.
though. That was one of our better shows for
that
sure.
Was one of the better
shows. Rock had us crying up here, even though we were embarrassed and crying. So for the first half, I know. So
hold on, I want to answer Kenny's question about is there a difference?
He was joking though.
What? Oh, he's just kidding. No, he was just kidding about do we need all these women perspectives?
Oh, absolutely we do. You tripping.
No, there's like, because you can have different sensibilities you want in a friend relationship than in a relationship. Because there are friends that I have there are female friends that I have who have things in like friendship things that I enjoy, but I could never ever look at them as in a romantic relationship because they just ain't got it. Ain't nothing on them. They just don't fit the need that I had at the time. What?
He did say they just don't got it. I said, dang.
They don't have it. We talking about the top 5 necessities. If they don't have it, they don't have it. That don't mean that they ain't got it.
You said, that's what you said though. You said they just ain't got it.
You just said
we gonna do this. Are we starting this early? Okay, all right. Let me take my glasses off. Let me take my glasses off.
That's what you said.
Rock and Morgan over here starting early. So let's go.
That's what you said, sir. We were just, but okay.
We all took it that way.
All right. So first, I guess we should get into the Woman King controversy, which I'm very much so bothered by the fact that is even a controversy. So I guess I should try to lay context first because y'all know how much context matters to me. So the Woman King came out last weekend.
19 million.
Yes, 19 million in the first weekend. A lot of people were excited about the movie. I know I was. And I did not know about this until the movie came out, but then you started seeing the undercurrent of people talking about the fact that, okay, well, they're covering the homie kingdom, and the homie kingdom is problematic. It is one of the kingdoms that was involved in the slave trade, that was rounding up their own and others and selling them in the transatlantic slave trade. That is a part of the problem that people are saying. So they're saying and when I say people, I'm talking about Black people. They are irritated because they feel like you're glorifying a tribe that shouldn't be glorified for what they did concerning the slave trade. I'm trying to think if there's another angle I should add to that for context, but that's the crux of the irritation. That they don't deserve to be glorified, and that it's not like the movie itself isn't telling the actual history of the Dahomey kingdom. Those are a lot of the other gripes, of course, were normal misogynistic stuff. Me personally, y'all know how I am. If it's Black, I'm going to see it. I'm gonna support my people because I know how. Yeah, me too, but I don't know where it's coming from. Does somebody have the screen up? I don't know. We got to figure out. But so I laid the context. Me seeing the movie, I went Thursday, of course, early. Again, if it's black, I'm going. That movie was amazing. It was. I knew it was going to be good because Viola's in it, and I don't know much that she's been in. It's not that wasn't good. I knew it was going to be good, but it was better than I anticipated. It literally, y'all know how much I love Top Gun. This movie's up there, like for the year. It's Top Gun in this movie for me, as number one and number two. As a overall movie, story wise, emotional, and all that type of stuff, this one tops Top Gun. For action, of course. I mean, come on now. But the Woman King's action is fantastic, though. That goes without question. So, with that being said, and me giving the context to the argument, Rock, did you have anything on it? Like how you felt about it? Have you seen it? All that?
I went to see it the week before it came out.
Okay.
I liked it. Showing here in Austin. I liked it, and honestly, when I was thinking about the historical accuracy, I was just happy to see a black woman not being like this powerless role. It's of it, but like I really enjoyed seeing black women in their strength, training. Like I felt really empowered, but I didn't watch it for the history. But I can see how people did.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, like, then damn, like people are not gonna always get it right. But just see a little girl growing up wanting to be a warrior now. Like I just, I feel like I understand people in their arguments.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of those things for me. I just wanted to enjoy it. I love Viola Davis. Like so many other black women, they gotta shine. Some for the first time in their life. Like that's my only speak about it.
Okay. Yeah. I Javon, did you get a chance to see it?
I did not. Hey buddy, I see your foot. Okay. Yeah. I haven't seen it. It's on my list of things to do, things to see. When football season roll around, like my free time go to that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll be perfectly honest with everybody. That's why I haven't caught up on Game of Thrones. I ain't caught up on Ring of Power. None of that.
Ring of Power can go to hell for me right now, but that's fine. We'll go back to that. Yeah, we can come back to it.
The issue that I had, and I posted online on Facebook, and I was like, well, what is everybody's issue with it? Because I was trying to see how everybody, the people who had an issue with it, what were they, talking about? Most of the people were saying about the historical context of it. And I keep saying to them, like, it's not a documentary.
Yeah.
It's a Hollywood production, and Hollywood cares about entertaining people more than getting it right. They always have. Every single historical movie we watch gets stuff wrong or changes stuff for entertainment's sake.
Yeah, I was about to say,
flat out ignores it.
And I honestly, and I, not to stop you, but I just wanted to say this real quick. Like, honestly, on purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Adding
like they're
that's why they say based on a true story.
Right. Yeah. Like, so, they're trying to tell a story within the context of something that actually happened. Right. So, like, if you look at a movie like The Last Samurai or, any of the biographies that have come out, they, our lives in history doesn't fit into neat little 3-act stories. That's just not the way generally the world works. So they, they're not going to keep everything. The whole purpose was to tell this part of the story. I haven't even seen it, but I can tell you that they're talking about X part of it. Yes, Braveheart wasn't accurate at all. But people love Braveheart. And all those people who probably complained about the historical accuracy of Woman King probably love the heck out of Braveheart. And then I saw somebody say that they didn't want to see it because they don't want to watch people their black people being enslaved, or they don't want to support something where their black people are enslaved or whatever. And I think it was Morgan who was like, but I bet you like Snowfall. I bet you like
I was gonna let y'all cook and then I was gonna
right,
go.
like, I bet you like Power, and all these shows where basically black people are getting rich off of the death and destruction of other black people. And it's like, honestly, at this point, like, you always hear people complain about, well, there's not enough movies and TV shows that are out of Africa that aren't straight slave movies. And I'm like, all right, well, we got one. And now you want to be like, because of this thing over here. And I get it. And like, honestly, like, to me, I didn't even know about this until the movie got made. I had no idea the story.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, the whole point is, okay, this is giving you a sliver of history. Now go out there and learn about it. Yeah. Like, the same thing happened with Watchmen and
I loved Watchmen.
Yes.
I forgot the name of it. The
Lovecraft Country.
No, Lovecraft, but the event that I'm talking about.
Tulsa.
Thank you. The same thing happened with Tulsa. Like, they didn't get they probably weren't historically accurate to the nth degree on that stuff. But the whole point is, we're going to show you something. Okay, now it's on you to go look about it, because we're not doing a documentary. We're not here to teach accuracy. We're just giving you a little bit. If you want the rest, go find it.
So
I mean, I'm always.
Sorry, I was about to add in how some people were saying accuracy in this and third. If you're gonna question stuff, then you need to start producing. We can say all day it needs to be accurate, but unless you're writing scripts and pitching that, it's never gonna be 100%. Unless you write it. Dude. All day and all night about it. Content, you're just writing think pieces about it, and that's as far as it's gonna go. As far as it's gonna go.
So before I answer this, my comment on a post was like, that's why I started with the context. Again, that's why they said based on a true story. The last time that I feel like this happened and I had to have a very similar conversation was when The Harder They Fall came out. And that movie was great, had great production, had great representation, and helped us to learn about, helped many black people, and God knows everybody else, learn about black cowboys, black people in the West that we had no idea existed until this movie, or maybe some did, but most didn't know about Nat Love. You didn't know about Shotgun Mary. You didn't know about any of those people until this movie came out. Now, when it came out, the writer and the director addressed the fact that he dramatized all of the stories. Like, the things that you watched in that movie did not actually take place in the way that they happened. And the way that people knew each other in that movie was fictionalized. Like, he made the story up for that, but that wasn't his purpose. His purpose was to be able to present you with new people, like what Javon was saying, new people in the world and the history that you might not have otherwise known. Now, we gave you a thread of the spool of wool. You know what I'm saying? You go, you know what I'm saying, find out the rest. And when you find out the truth, cool. It just empowers you as an African American, or at least you would like for it to. But past that, like Rock said, another purpose of this movie is to have little black girls. Number one, let's keep it all the way a band. To have little black girls, and especially little dark-skinned black girls, feel represented, feel powerful, and feel like they can be warriors or be whatever it is that they want to do. And you don't have.
Can I interrupt you on that one?
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say that's the primary purpose of the movie. The primary purpose of the movie is to entertain. It's to entertain you. Now, everything that else that happens is great, like the representation and all that. It is to entertain. It is not, like I said, if you want education, watch a documentary. As you just said, you watch the YouTube channel Home team history about it. Sounds like a documentary. Sounds like there was something that was meant to entertain you. But
no,
I'm gonna let you go before I go.
Yeah, so I get where you're coming from, but I'm saying like there are plenty of offshoots of things that this movie not only can do for those of us who are watching it, but other people that are in the industry. Like the performances in this movie, we knew Viola was going to be a beast. Liana Lynch was fantastic in this movie. Thusu and Bidu, she stole the show for me in that movie. I'm not gonna say she outacted Viola because that sounds sacrilegious, but they right here, cuz like she was a beast in that movie, and she drove it for me, and I cannot wait to see her name come up for something else to watch. So we all know how important it is. Like Viola, when she went on the Breakfast Club, was talking about the fact that she fought for 7 years to get this movie made. You know what I'm saying? Because it came out with her production company that she has with her husband. For 7 years, she had been trying to buy this movie and get it made. And so once you go through that process and you've been fighting to tell this story for 7 years, now you get it out, you get it on screen, and then people that say they want representation, they say they want these things, then we don't show up to see it. And when we don't show up to see it, it makes it even harder for you to fight the next time unless you go through specific channels. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to get to a point, and thank God for all the beasts out there that are opening doors. Thank God for Tyler Perry doing what he's doing and having literally the biggest studio in America, period. Bigger than freaking Hollywood. Like, that's amazing. Thank God for him. Thank God for Oprah Winfrey. Thank God for Kevin Hart. You know what I'm saying? Thank God for Charlamagne the God. Thank God for Jay-Z. Thank God for Diddy with Revolt. Like, we have more black people that are branching out into different sectors to give black stories, specifically black stories, more life. And to be able to bring things to the screen, to podcasts, to TV shows, to movies, to like all of these different forms of media, we have far more access than we've ever had before. And it's because of people like this that have done things like this. So to me, this is another instance. Like, if you don't want to watch it for your own personal taste or for your own personal reason, that's cool. Nobody's trying, like the comment, I'm getting into some of the comment that I saw. Nobody's trying to guilt you into watching anything. I don't give a crap whether you watch it or not. If you don't watch it, that's on you. It's very similar to what I said before. What I did say on the post was, and it's very similar to my argument about Black Panther. If you are not watching this movie, but you will watch Power, you'll watch Empire, you'll watch Snowfall, you watched American Gangster and loved it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you watched any of those movies, that's hypocritical to me. Now, this is a big conversation that me and my boy Ro had, you know what I'm saying, both online and privately. A lot of people view what the Dahomey Kingdom did as worse than what's being done right now with black people that, get notoriety and get made and get into a space where they get glorified as gangsters, as rappers, as whatever, you know what I'm saying, off of the back of violence against black bodies, you know what I'm saying, right now in the real world, and we glorify that. To me, that's the hypocrisy of it. But they say that it's far worse for you to sell your people into slavery than it is to do what's happening right now in the hood. And to me, this is the conversation that it might be a separate show, I don't know. But for me personally, the reason I say that's different is because the Dahomey Kingdom and the rest of we know there were African tribes that sold slaves. Context matters. When they were slavery has always been a thing in human history everywhere. There's nowhere on earth that did not have slavery and has not had perpetual slavery. That was not a thing. It's always been a thing. Historically speaking, usually when there was slavery involved, it was your people or you conquer another country, another tribe, another whatever. It goes through war and you have prisoners of war. If you don't put them at a lower caste than you are, then you're just taking a chance on them rising up to come against you, and then the whole war that you just fought is for naught. It doesn't matter now. You know what I'm saying? So most of the time, when somebody got made to be a slave, we call them prisoners of war now. You know what I'm saying? That was because you wanted to make sure that they didn't have the power to restructure and rebel against you. That's for most of human history.
But I feel like we're deeper in this than it's a very surface level silly thing, right? In my opinion, like you're going deep, and I ain't got no problem with you going deep into the hypocrisy of glamorizing the how do you pronounce it, the homie? How do you
Who?
pronounce it? How do you
What?
pronounce their
The
tribe?
homie? The homie?
The homie tribe, and then Ghost, and all these other fake, not real, fictional characters. The depiction of those that have been glorified like that's deep. I'm very surface level with this, okay? Because the point of these films is somebody, and I think it was Robert who posted on here and said, was it marketed as bait? Was hold on, let me see if I can find it. It says, was the Harder They Fall marketed as based on a true story? No, but I think you need to really take a look at what based on a true story means. Yes. Many of the movies that you hear that are based on a true story are very thin. Mm-hmm. I'll give you a perfect example. What's the name of that?
I got movie? A great example.
There's a movie. There's a movie called Mike and what is it? Mike and something bring dates to the wedding or something. Jesus, let me find it. But anyway, this.
While you find it, one off the top of my head is Paranormal Activity. They sold that movie. Yes, they sold that movie solely as this was like a found footage thing.
Hold on. Here you go. Mike and Dave need wedding dates. Now, the premise of the movie is what the movie is based on. The premise of the movie is these two guys went on Craigslist and offered a all expenses paid trip to Hawaii for their sister's wedding to two girls because they needed dates. That is literally the bare bones. Everything else in the movie didn't happen. Mm-hmm. But the movie is marketed as based on a true story.
I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like that's when Hollywood says that, they're basically saying some of it happened, but the rest of it we made up.
And that should be clear to most people, but since it might not be, that's why I'm glad that you said that. Because again, if you don't believe me, go back and look at the when they started selling Paranormal Activity, right? We've seen 50 million Paranormal Activities at this point. But the biggest reason me and my ex-wife were so hype about going to see that movie was because they said it was based on like this happened. You know what I'm saying? It was like a found footage type thing. That's how they were selling it. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, bruh, there's no way I'm missing this based off of this preview. And it happened. Bro, I'm in there. You know what I'm saying?
Like, Blair Witch Project was too, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yeah.
Blair Witch Project was done like that. It started the found footage renaissance. You know,
there was a
came behind it. There's mad movies that started
being the possession of Deborah Lang or whatever. It was a horror movie, but it was based on true.
That drug was good though.
Yeah, it was a good one. But this concept that it didn't get everything right or didn't put all the information in. Listen, if they wanted to tell a story about them selling slaves, they would have told the story about them selling slaves. That ain't the story. Clearly, that ain't the story that they wanted to tell. Mm-hmm. They wanted to talk about one aspect of it. It's just like when you see all these biographies or movies about all these famous people, and you see how they just pick and choose what they want to talk about. They might talk about this here, but they're not, they gloss over stuff all the time. So
that's
when they gloss over stuff like how you didn't talk about them being on drugs. Like, why do we have to focus? Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Watch that Whitney Houston movie gloss over a whole lot. It's gonna gloss over a whole lot.
Because that's not the focus of the story that they're trying to tell. And anybody, especially that's one of the reasons that I was disappointed with the conversation.
But I wanted to say one thing though about the conversation that's happening right now. Viola Davis didn't go on guilting people into it. What she was explaining to you was how Hollywood works. Hollywood works is because they follow the dollars.
Yes.
Yep.
And
So
she didn't guilt anybody into anything at any point.
So she's basically saying if you want to see more movies with black women kicking butt, then you should go to every movie where it has a black woman kicking butt in there and put your money towards it so that those movies can continue to be made.
Especially because you've never seen, there's a reason this one has a precedent. You know what I'm saying? Like, you've never seen a movie with black women, dark-skinned black women, leading all of these roles. And then they also went through the extra trouble of making sure that when they brought the women together, they got them from different sections of Africa, different parts of the diaspora. They brought all of those people into the same story to be able to tell it from so many different places. And this is a perfect example of black people choosing to miss the forest for the trees on purpose. And that's when I started to get irritated. Especially, the bigger reason I'm irritated is because these are writers that are making these decisions and making these comments. And I'm like, yo, you do this for a living. You do this for a living, and you don't know the difference in between a documentary and based on a true story. You don't know that difference, but you want to scold people. I saw people talking down to black people for going to see the movie. That's why I made the comment that I did, and that's why I made the post. It's cool for you to have an issue and for you to voice your issue. That's fine. That's always fine, and especially on your page. You know I'm good for saying that. You can do that on your own page, right? Where I take issue is once you start to talk down to other black people based on something like this. If you were talking down to black people by saying, like, if one of your black friends got up there with a MAGA hat on and was pulling some straight Kanye in the Oval Office and he got blasted, I mean, you knew that was coming, my guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? But does that person have a right to do that on their page? Absolutely. Absolutely they do. But it's different once you start to demean black people for something that ain't even, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're making it far deeper than it needed to be in the first place. And again, back to my point, guaranteed you watch those other movies that I talked about. Guaranteed you were big up in Frank Lucas and for American Gangster as if he was, you know what I'm saying, somebody to glorify or praise. Or you watch Godfather of Harlem.
Bro, tell me what you needed from a black, like, the whole point of these movies is so we have different, it just frustrates me. Guys, we already have a very narrow view of themes and topics in our movies. So now we're getting wider, and it's like,
and it's still a problem.
What do you want? Explain to me what would make you happy from a film. Because right now, I just feel like there are certain people that just, you're not going to be satisfied with anything.
That's a fact.
You're just not going to be satisfied. So if you're not going to be satisfied, go sit in the back. Don't ever complain about black people being in the movies no more. Don't complain about representation. Don't complain about none of that. Go sit in the back. Go watch Friends. Go watch Seinfeld. Enjoy your day. And you know what I'm saying?
Based off of black fit, based off of
100%.
What more do you want, like, from entertainment? And even if you don't like it, just be quiet.
Look, again, like I said,
there are many. Do you know how many BET Arabesque movies have come out that I've looked at and I've been like, man, that looked terrible. But I don't go online like, man, did y'all see that? Man, that looks terrible. Like, listen. Keep making them BET Arabesque movies, because that's the way only way some of these black folks are gonna get work.
Or again, we in the comic industry, right? Maybe I should not say this.
Be careful.
Maybe I know
what you about to say. Be careful.
I won't.
Be careful with what you say.
I won't say it.
I'll say it for you. Can I say it for you?
Certainly.
I think because more you're about to get ignorant. I know more about to get ignorant.
Let me put my political. Let me put my political spin on it. All right, I got you. There are a lot of independent books that aren't up to a certain level of quality by black folks. But you know what? I don't dog them out. I might even support them anyway. I might buy them anyway, just to support independent books.
Because they put it out.
Was that good?
Thank you.
Yes, because they put it out. That's it.
Thank you.
Because the lane for black folks in entertainment is so freaking narrow. and we are all literally trying to get from point A to point B, and it is so hard and so hard to get there. My break is over. Y'all be easy. Well, yeah, you might.
Oh no, Robert, you gotta stay. Take another 15.
I don't complain. Hold on. I don't complain about representation. I used to. I know what I want from a movie when I see the trailer. Okay, cool.
Yeah, see that's what I'm saying. For me, that's why I will always.
I'm different. I root for. I'm with Issa Rae. I root for everybody black.
100%. It's a Bible. That's a Bible verse for me. It's the Black Bible verse.
And if I see something that's made by a black person, and it ain't exactly my thing.
Look, don't get it twisted. Yeah. Most everybody knows that if it is black, I'm gonna support it or I'm gonna try my darndest. I'm not interested in everything that black people put out. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, like my best friend, one of my female best my female best friend, was asked. I think she asked me about it. It was one of my female best friends, or it was her. Was asking about me, whether I watched P Valley or not, and I was like, no, I don't really think that's my swag.
I don't know why it's not.
I've heard. I've heard from multiple people that it's a really good show.
I like the first season of P Valley. I'm just saying.
I've heard it's a really good show in multiple ways. I just am not. I don't see. Okay, so maybe for me, this might be another reason. So, and I don't know if we talked about this on the show or not. I have never at any point been the strip club guy ever. I've never been that guy. I'm not interested at all whatsoever. I have no interest in the strip club. If you want to get me involved in those type of, if it was me and my girl and that was something cool for her and like she liked it, you know, some women like to take their man because
I'm just listening.
So some women like to take their man because you know what I'm saying, like it excites them, that gets them in the mood, and then you go back home and you get it in. I've heard that argument or whatever. If that's what my girl was into, then I go with her. You know what I'm saying? But
it's actually it's pretty decently written show, and it's very good with if you're interested in representation, like it's definitely on a higher level of representation than most other, you know, especially, you know, black black shows. I haven't seen the second season. I had stars and I don't. So, you know, hey, listen.
I got you.
Yeah, when I get it, when they have free weekend, I'm gonna binge watch the heck out of it.
And just think about it like this: you're not their audience, and that's okay too.
Exactly. It's exactly.
Not everything is made for everybody.
That was my point. You see what I'm saying? So that was my point. If you the only reason I said something on my page was because I saw people demeaning other black people for going to see the movie. Like, y'all don't know what y'all want. Y'all just gonna go support everything. Y'all sheeple, blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? They have them little stupid conversations. That's when I'm gonna have to say something, because, like, especially like I said, my card pull was, if you watching any of these other shows, and it's a separate conversation because me and Ro talked about it, but like saying that the Dahomey kingdom and other African tribes and kingdoms that stole slaves is worse than what takes place here today, that's a whole other debate, and I'm going to have it on another day because I disagree.
I don't know. I mean, I would just say for that, and we could go to the list, but why does one have to be worse?
I agree.
They both be bad.
I think they're both terrible. But I think context, you know how much context matters to me. That's the reason why I think there's a conversation to be had there, because of the context.
Okay, that's fair.
So Danny is not going to be able to make it. He did send us his list, so I'm not even going to look at it until
we could do his list last.
Yeah, we'll do his list last. I'm not even going to look at it. So. Well, that was another woman's perspective that we were gonna get, but it's cool.
That's all right. Roxy is more than enough woman. She like 6'8". So
you're right about that. You're absolutely correct. And she wearing a Roxy original.
And she wearing a Roxy original.
And she wearing a Roxy original.
Go and walk.
There we go. Yeah, there you go.
Turn around.
Let them know.
Walk the catwalk.
Roxy originals out here.
Hey, Roxy's website is www.roxy.thatchick.com.
That sounds like a porn website. Please don't.
Hey, what? Your name is Roxy.
It definitely did. But
how many porn sites are you? Wait, whoa! How many porn sites are you frequenting that you know which one sounds like?
No,
that's
it just
is porn
site.
Yeah. Yeah.
What up, Nadia? Happy
birthday, Nadia.
Yeah, happy birthday. Is it today or?
I think it's today, right? I think it's today.
Happy birthday.
I think it's today.
I think it's today. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Queen. All right, so. For this list, I was torturing myself over this list all day, bro, because I came up with a list early and I was like, man, I don't know that. Yes, okay. Happy birthday, girl. I tortured myself over this list because I had the words in there, but then I kept looking back at the list like I'm missing something here. I mean, you know what I mean? Like I had to go back to the list mad times. What I ended up with, I feel pretty good about. We'll see how it goes when I get the list. I don't
top 5 romantic relationship necessities.
Yes.
So we have a lady in the building.
Yeah.
So
and I feel like this is going to be a good conversation too. So I'm very
first.
much
Ladies first.
Yeah. Let me get my ready.
Mine is chemistry.
Number 5.
That's number 5.
Okay, chemistry.
Yeah. Chemistry, connection, intimacy. I'm not gonna say it necessarily always comes last, but that's the kind of last. Number 4 is direction. We need to know where we're going when we're in a situationship. Is it a one night stand? Like what you really got in? I think a lot of us as women fall short because we don't have direction. Like we assume, but we don't have a solid direction. Communication.
Okay. That's number 3.
Communication is everything. Number 2, boundaries.
Okay.
I'm a believer now, especially now, like I have boundaries with you. We all in each other's spaces all the time, and there's not enough time to miss each other or take care. And number 1 is self-awareness, because if you're not aware of yourself, that's my top 5. That's why I said my list was gonna be back tonight.
Okay. All right. I'll go next. I can go next.
All right. Yeah. Let me. And like I said, I wanted to get the list out, and then I wanted to talk about it. I'm sure it's going to lead to a lot of good conversation, especially for people on the watch back. You know what I'm saying, that they can take and use probably. So.
All right. Javon. So the way I did my list is basically the top 5, obviously top 5 romantic necessities, but like basically it's once you're talking about becoming a couple.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Like you've courted, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's almost we're past courting, but before relationship. That's how I looked at it.
Okay.
All right. Number 5, physical attraction. For me, I mean, if I don't find you attractive and you don't find me attractive, I don't know how this goes any further than hi, bye. Like we could be friends, that's cool. Number 4, actually, I had my list done a while back, but then I told my list to my wife, and while I was saying my list, I was like, wait a minute, this one kind of is the same as the other. So I took one out and put one in. And This is the one I put in, spiritual compatibility.
Okay.
That doesn't necessarily mean we have to be the same religion, but our religions probably had to be close enough that there's not too much conflict. Like as the example I gave my wife, like If my wife was an atheist while we were dating, we probably wouldn't have worked.
I've seen people do it.
Some people it worked, but I know for me it wouldn't work.
Yeah,
like you know what I mean? Because the atheists that I know are very, very insistent on saying how silly and crazy religion is, and I feel like that's not a argument and discussion that I want to keep having for the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
All right. Number 3, lack of ego. I would say ego is one of the biggest toxic aspects of a relationship. Like anytime an ego gets involved, like whatever it is kind of starts to die or malfunction.
Okay.
Number 2, communication / comprehension. And I add the comprehension because everybody always talks about like communication. They always say communication. Well, the truth of the matter is we all communicate. It's whether we understanding what the other person is saying. And to me, that's where the big breakdown is. Like if I say A, you might hear A, but you might think I'm saying B. And so we're going to be off because we're just not understanding what we're saying. And then number 1 is I'm actually shocked that this one wasn't on Roxy's list. Trust. If I can't trust you, this is not going to work. You know, if I can't trust you.
I was going to say, wouldn't it fall along the lines of like self-awareness and boundaries?
Not really, because like boundaries are like boundaries could be anything. Boundaries, like you said, could be, all right, you're in my space, or I like to do this at this time and you like to do this at this time. Can you at least be acknowledged such and such? Like trust is, can I be comfortable enough with you to trust you to just give? You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, when you go out the door, I'm not worried about, okay, what is he doing? What is she doing? That's like trust and having that level of being comfortable. Like if I'm constantly questioning what you're doing, like it's probably not going to go well. Like it's probably going to end up being really toxic. So that's my 5.
Okay.
Okay. So the way that I did my list, I tried, like I said, I had to redo my mad times. I tried to find one word that would comprise. I tried to find one word that would comprise multiple things, or in some instances, it was just one word that's just big. So number 5, and I'll explain it in a second. Number 5, I had integrity. I was gonna say honesty by itself, you know what I'm saying? But to me, integrity goes a step beyond that because it includes honesty with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It includes honesty. It includes loyalty based on that honesty, and like having a higher code. I'll explain that in a minute. You know what I mean? What, somebody picking on me already? Trust is like trusting that Morgan is okay in the church closet. He do the stream. Okay. Number 4. Number 4 is trust. Um, trust is number 4, and like I said, once I go through it, I'll explain my thought process behind it. So number 4 for me is trust. Once trust, if trust is an issue in your relationship, you're in some dire straits, or you will be soon. Because there's different levels of trust having the issue. Number 3, partnership. For me, that's a huge one, huge. And like I said, I'll explain it. But again, that is I could have said partnership / loyalty, but I think partnership kind of encompasses loyalty in a way. But I'll explain it in a minute. Number 2, passion. Again, passion encompasses more than one thing. I wasn't gonna say love; that's too cliche. To me, passion passion automatically means love. I don't care what you're passionate about. Love is a component of that passion, whatever you have a passion for. So passion was a word for me. And number one, communication. The way that I thought about the list. Wait, let me type that out first. So integrity, number 4, trust, number 3, partnership, 2, passion, 1. So the way that I thought about my list was, if you're in the relationship, or like if I'm thinking about it, like if the relationship is in trouble, how do you work your way back to the healthy relationship? You know what I'm saying? So I tried to go step by step, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to me, like I said, I said integrity, but I could have said honesty there. If you're not going to be honest in a relationship, you ain't going to get to trust. You know what I'm saying? Or if you get to trust, it's eventually going to fall off because you realize that person hasn't been honest. So now you can't trust them. You know what I'm saying? Trust is obviously number 4. You know what I'm saying? And again, like I said, if you lose trust, the relationship isn't over, but God knows it's close. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely close if the trust is the problem. Because if I can't trust you, that's when you start freaking. If you already had insecurities, all your insecurities are going to be heightened now. If you didn't have insecurities, now you will have heightened stuff that for no reason you're going to be checking behind this person, whatever. Number 3, partnership. So if I have the first 2, if I have integrity, even if you don't have integrity, because I was thinking about this like it's in relationships that might even be toxic. Like, even if you're not like if you don't have integrity as most would see it, like let's say you're a drug dealer, right? You being a drug dealer doesn't mean you can't fall in love. Like, you being hardcore as a man doesn't mean you can't fall in love. You might not have integrity out in these streets with other people, but you at least have integrity with the person that you love. You see what I'm saying? So like, it's still like your loyalty to that person, your code with that person, the understanding that you and that person have as far as what it is that y'all are doing, which goes back to what Rock was talking about in her list. But to me, that's what integrity means. You know what I'm saying? Not only is it like a honesty with it, but there's a code that goes with that honesty. You know what I'm saying? But the partnership is built off of the trust and the integrity. The fact that I feel like I can trust you, you know what I'm saying, is what leads us to the partnership. Because now in a partnership, I not only do I want you to do well, but I want us to do well together. There's a selflessness that comes in that partnership that I long for more than anything else. I want to be with somebody long term to build with this person together. Whatever our goals are, fine. I want both of us to have our own goals, but once we partner up and we trust each other and we have integrity among each other, we can really build a kingdom now. You know what I'm saying? So partnership's a huge thing for me. Number 2, the passion. The reason I put passion on there is because, like I said, love goes with the passion, but also you can love somebody and not be passionate about them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but passion, it can be fleeting too, though.
You're right. You're right.
Like passion can die over time. Like, you could, if you talk to like married couples who've been
That's what I'm about
married
to get
for like
to.
20, 30 years, they love each other. And some of them are really passionate, but they might be passionate about their love, but they might not be passionate in the conventional way, though. That's why, to me, it's not as important.
But I don't mean it as one. So I don't mean it as one thing. So the reason I said passion is because, like I said, you could be passionate about a lot of different things, but if you're passionate about something, there's love involved with it. You really love, and it's also an intense feeling. The feeling does fall at times, right? But it doesn't mean that you can't get that passion back, right? Like, remember I said I thought about mine as a step ladder. So if
Oh wait, whoa, we forgot Danny's list.
Yeah, oh yeah, we do got to do that.
Hold on, let's do Danny. Let's get Danny's real quick.
All
right. And then I'm sorry, I don't want to,
No,
all
you're
right.
right.
So number 5, he had communication of goals. Number 4, mutual respect. Number 3, love. he said choice.
He's the first person with
parentheses.
He said love what? Love what?
He's the first person. Love in parentheses. It says choice. I don't know what that means, but I'm just gonna say love.
Choosing to love, I guess.
I guess. I don't know. But you know what though? Hold on. I think I know what he's saying, but let me finish this thing. Number 2, willingness to sacrifice. And then number 1, desire to be together. That's a good one. I think I know what he's saying by love choice. There's a YouTube, not YouTube, there's an Instagram clip that I saw. I think it was on Instagram where a woman was talking and she was saying that she's talked to her boyfriend and he said like, I choose to love you or something like that.
Yes.
And then, she explained like every day he chooses to love her, even when, she frustrates him, even when this and this and things aren't going right, or whatever, she chooses to love. So I think that's what he means.
I mean, I think so too, because but that's what I was getting with. That's what I was getting to with the passion thing, because like I said, passion is intense. It's an intense feeling, but it can be fleeting. It can fall back. It doesn't mean that you can't get it back, but there's usually a reason that the passion left. You know what I'm saying? So it could be complacency. It could be
but that doesn't. But when I'm saying it the way I'm saying about passion is like,
I agree with that right there.
As long as you're willing to put but that's not necessarily true, because it's like the type of passion that you have when like you're first together, that new passion, like y'all just can't get your hands on, can't wait to get your hands on each other. After like 15, 20 years, like I said, there are certain people that maintain that passion. And yes, it is work to maintain that passion, but I think love evolves, like the love you have. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Roxy. Yes.
I didn't mean to cut you off. People evolve, be growing in that same direction, or you're gonna evolve apart.
Right, like I tell everybody the advice I got from somebody before I got married was that your wife is going to be a different person every day, every week, every month, every year. So like you have to continue to try to, evolve and you evolve, and then you aren't the same person that you were today, yesterday, whatever. And the trick is to continue to find ways for your evolved personas to continue to try to fit. Like that's advice I got before I got married, and I try to remember that.
No, but it's true. That's so the reason I picked the word passion is because just like love evolves.
That's what Nadia. That's what I guess that's what I'm talking about.
But no, I know. But
there's also like that fiery, just met each other passion. It's not necessarily like you understand what I'm saying. It's not. I'm not necessarily talking about like physical, but like butterflies talking on the phone until 3 in the morning. Like
But that's what I'm saying. I get all of that. But passion, just like love has different aspects and it has different stages. Passion does too. It doesn't mean that like just because you've been with that person 15 to 20 years and it's not like all illy frilly and y'all still hitting each other and doing all the stuff that you do like when it's cute and you're on.
Don't be hitting
you in that honeymoon.
Don't be hitting your wife, man.
You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just like
don't be hitting your wife, man.
I'm talking about.
We here at Top 5 Live do not endorse spousal abuse. So just want you guys to understand that, just make sure.
That's what I'm saying. I think this person gets what I'm saying. To me, if the reason I use passion is because passion encompasses more than just love. If I can, you cannot separate passion and love. You can't separate those two things. If you're passionate about something, it's because you love it. You can't separate the two.
Okay.
But I can love something and not be passionate about it. So for me personally, I can definitely I would rather have passion. Because the passion is what's going to make me fall for this person. Like that's the space that I'm in right now, as far as like why I'm not dating actively, is because if I've tried to explain this before. I have dated some really awesome women that are great people.
Very political answer.
Huh?
It's a very political answer. Very political statement.
it's a true statement.
I'm really just messing with you. You was messing with me when we first started. I gotta get it back.
So I've dated some very awesome women. I've dated some women that like would be awesome life partners for me, or I'm sure for some other man, right? Like I mean seriously, really awesome life partners. Like we could build together. Like the partnership aspect, I know we be in sync. We could be a lot step, and we can build based on the other things, communication. And I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But if I don't fall for you, which would be the passionate part. Like if I don't become attached to you in some type of way that makes me want to take the leap of it not being a decision in my head that I made, a calculated decision versus a feeling, it I would rather fall for this person where I don't even have control over how I feel now. Like it's just like it happened. I'm like, yo, this I don't even like this, but I can't do anything about it. I'm here now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm here now and there's nothing I can do about it. It doesn't mean that it can't fall back. But if I didn't get ushered in like that, then I'm gonna spend a lot of time questioning. This is just me. I can only speak for me. I'm gonna spend time questioning whether this person is right for me. I can choose because for me personally, I can fall for it and be in a relationship happy with multiple people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about having multiple partners in the same relationship. What I mean is I'm not high maintenance as far as what I want. If you're loyal to me, if whatever we agreed to in the beginning of our relationship you're adhering to, and I liked you in the first place, I could be fine. You know what I'm saying? I could be fine, and we could be married or in a relationship or whatever, and I could be cool. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to have a passion for you. I cannot fake the passion.
I get it. We get it.
It's like what Rossi said with chemistry. Chemistry is huge for me. But when I say chemistry, I mean organic chemistry. You can have
we get it.
You can have a chemistry with somebody, but organic chemistry to me is like that is a thing that you have no control over. Like you just there's a like my ex, me and my ex girlfriend. I don't care if I'm 98. I can't control the energy. I'm not, and I don't mean this in a sexual manner, right? I mean just the energy between us is the energy between us. I can't do anything about it. It's never gonna change.
We got it. So I got a question for Roxy though. I had a question for Roxy. Okay. So you in your list you had direction.
Yeah, I get exactly what it means.
I want to explain. Can you talk more about like how your perspective on what you're looking for when you say direction?
So, what are we doing? Like, is this going to be a casual text? You know, are we looking for anything long term? Is it short term? You just in town for the weekend? And you know, not to say that I'm going to do it, but are you on the side? Like, I need to know what we're doing here. That's what I mean by say.
Oh, so you're just talking about like labels on the actual relationship.
What are we doing? Like, do we have long-term plans? Is it short-term? Like, what are we doing about it?
Okay, I got you. I thought I was curious if you were just talking about like what you're saying now, or like within the actual relationship direction. Because I know a lot of women will say, well, we need to be in the same direction, but they can't really explain what they mean by that. And I was wondering.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay. Gotcha. But you clarified that. So what's it? Chemistry is the equivalent of puppy love. That's not true.
I don't know about that. I
think he's switching it. Like passion to me is the equivalent of puppy love. Chemistry. Hold on. Chemistry to me rarely fades, because if you just have chemistry with somebody, you vibe, and unless something dramatic happens, the vibe will always be there.
100%.
But passion to me can burn out. Like passion to me is more like it's like
or it changes forms.
Yeah, it changed form.
To me, it changes form.
But that's why I like to use this. We're probably talking semantics, but that's why I say I feel like you guys are talking about chemistry as opposed to passion, because to me, passion is hot, is fire. It's representation is representing fire, whereas chemistry is like vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like my wife and I have a chemistry. Our chemistry now isn't the same that it was before, but it still exists. You know what I mean? Whereas like passion is, I can't keep my hands off this person. And then over time, it peters out like puppy love. That's what I think that's how I always look at it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think when it comes to passion, I think we're talking about it on two different levels. Of course, that level exists. Like,
hold on, but Kevin, I just said chemistry rarely changes unless something dramatic happens. Like it's almost like chemistry is like having an arm, and then you don't have your arm unless if you want to cut off the arm by doing something crazy, yeah, the chemistry will go away. But even then, like you could I know a lot of women who always will be like, I don't know what it is about him. Even when the dude does the craziest things in the world.
That's what I was just explaining.
That chemistry's still there and they just can't do nothing about it. That's
why I was just explaining with my ex. Like that's why I said what I said about my ex. Like me and my ex girl, I don't care if I'm 270 years old. I'll be grayed up, and needing lotion and whatever else. But my feelings towards her at its base are not going to change. I have no control over it. It does not mean I'm not going to be faithful. It does not mean, you know what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with that. But I cannot change how I feel about this person regardless. There's no way to change.
Ooh, Morgan.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Is that something that you would
say it again?
Is that something that you would communicate or share with the chemistry that you have with that ex? Is that something that you would mention
to her or to the next woman?
To the next one.
She's talking about to the next woman.
Ooh.
Yes, because I'm not now
look at your phone.
Yeah, no. So this is what I mean. Like I don't know that I would just volunteer it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like because like I'm not, because what I have learned, and my female best friend, I love her to death. She had to taper me down on that because I'm a very upfront person. So I'm putting everything on the table right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, because I want to get everything on the table so that you can make an informed decision on whether or not you want to move forward or not.
Can I say this though? Shouldn't the next woman if the next one ends up being the one, like let's say you meet somebody and the chemistry between y'all is so great that you want to pursue it, you don't feel like that chemistry almost somehow negates the other chemistry? Like, all right, like, yeah. Well, when I say it's like, I'm gonna be political here. I can have a feeling about X person here. And then, okay, I met my wife. Well, my wife makes me think, okay, I know. So this is what I want to get married to. But that's not this. So it makes me rethink what that was. And so that doesn't look, that doesn't look like, right. It doesn't look so good anymore.
I get it.
And so it almost like, that's what I'm saying. It almost shifts the chemistry.
Well, that's why I said, so I would not volunteer it because you could be walking yourself into messing up.
But no, what I'm asking is, do you think that is a possibility? Is what
that the new chemistry that I feel makes the other one seem less
obsolete.
It's completely possible. That's completely possible. I'm just saying.
Yo, Kevin is on it. He's right. Hold on. I think it does. I think you can have chemistry with way more than one person. No, I'm not saying that you can't have chemistry with more than one person. I'm saying that one chemistry can be greater than the other.
Well, that's obvious.
I can meet a new female, and we have vibe, but like she ain't my wife. So I'm going off what Nadia said. Okay. She's not my wife. So whatever chemistry is, whatever is still not as great as the chemistry that I have with my wife. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? Like you can have chemistry with more than one person, but there's levels to this thing.
Well, that's what I said. That's why when I gave the example of like I could be 200 and whatever years old, my love for my wife,
that's the problem.
My love for my wife, my chemistry for my wife, all of those things for my wife. I chose her to be my wife for a reason. There's a reason I chose her and not my ex. Do you see what I'm saying? So my chemistry with my wife has nothing to do with my chemistry with my ex. My chemistry with my ex doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. It ain't got nothing to do with me and you at all. You know what I'm saying? So if that was the case, then I wouldn't go forward in a relationship with you. And if you have an issue with my chemistry with the ex, then maybe we shouldn't be together.
Yeah, but if you, but I don't know. That's
nah,
I get
that sounds
it.
like
I get how
like
I can get it
to me for no reason. That sounds like undue jealousy. That's what it sounds like to me. It's no reason. It's no reason for you to be. Why are you jealous of somebody I'm not with? What do you care?
It's not about. Well, I'm not going to speak. I would ask Roxy what she thinks.
I don't think anything. I mean, honestly,
all right. No. Seriously. So if you
say, like, for me, I just know old dude just moved out.
Mm-hmm.
They're still lingering, but in the event that feelings were still lingering, I would have to communicate that to the next person. You know.
Right, but I'm asking you to switch. Mm-hmm. So let's say you met a guy and y'all got great chemistry, and you ask him about his ex, and he's like, yeah, I'm always gonna love her,
Well, why would you say that?
But what?
Now for
all right,
me,
fine. If you say, well, we always gonna have kids, I'm because this is what she asking. Would you bring it up? And
yeah,
I'm saying
but I gave context to where I would bring it up.
Hold on. So I'm saying if she's like, yeah, we always me and my ex are always gonna have chemistry, but we just not together right now. Like, or we always gonna have a strong chemistry, but we not together right now. Like, how would you feel hearing that?
And this is just me. I'm very out there and outside of the box. I understand, because there have been people in my life that I felt that way about as well. For me, we gonna have a conversation about that. Like what was good about it? Like I want to, because for me, it's gonna give me more insight into you, like how you think, how you love.
Exactly.
Like, that's about past relationships. Be personal.
But I think there's knowing about a past relationship and talking about a past relationship, and then there's acknowledging that there's still something there.
But I'm not saying there's still something there.
It's possible that there's still something there.
But I understand that. But I'm saying acknowledging there's still something there while you're trying to pursue a relationship with somebody else. That's what I'm saying.
Because you're being honest with yourself.
Okay.
That to me, the honesty is, so when she asked me the question, I know me. If the person I'm dating asks that, what I miss?
Kevin, man. Kevin, yo.
If you started dating a woman, how long are you dating her before you bring up this chemistry that you will have for somebody? I see, that's what I'm saying. I'm not answering that because I thought it was obvious what I was saying. She asked me a question. I was being honest about what my answer. If I was asked about it, I said I'm not going to volunteer that, right? Because that's messing up. Why would I bring in anything that has to do with my exes when I'm trying to get to know you and what we got going on? I'm not going to do that, right? But if I've been in relationships. Me and my ex-wife. When we first met and we first started dating, she asked me she asked me how many, you know what I'm saying, what my number was. You know what I'm saying? She asked me. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? So
please don't. Please spare us.
I'm not gonna give the number. I'm not giving a number. I'm just I'm not giving.
Roxy's like, I don't need that information.
No,
that's okay. She beat me to it. I was like, I don't really need.
I wasn't gonna give the number. I'm just giving the example of the fact that
but Morgan, sometime that number would have slipped out.
Nah, because anyway, she asked and I answered, right? If you're insecure about that answer, that's not my problem. It's yours, right? That's my point. My point is, if you don't ask questions you don't want the answer to, if because you can't then come back to me and then say it's an honesty thing when I've been honest with you. That's why I said I'm the type of person I put everything on the table right now. You don't have to worry about me hiding stuff in the closet, whatever. I want you to have the full picture of what you're looking at, so that we can both make an informed decision on whether this is worth going into, exploring, not exploring. Like what Rossi said, direction's important to me too. You will always know where you stand with me. Okay, like that's not gonna be. You don't have to wonder about that. But that's why I said my best female friend had to teach me not to volunteer things that they didn't ask. She's not saying hide things, but what she had to explain to me is like, if my mind wasn't even on that stuff, and now you volunteer it, that can cause issues before we even get to where we're going. Because now I didn't ask you that, so now my mind is on all this stuff that I didn't even want to know. That now you've made my knowledge that's gonna cause a problem between me and you. So that's why I said if I was asked, yes, I'm gonna be honest about it. But I'm not gonna volunteer. Oh man, me and my ex, bro, like, bro, I always love her, dog. And if I ever get around her, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna beat it up. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not that stupid. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do nothing like that. But if I'm asked, I'm gonna be honest. That's what I mean across the board.
But I think a lot of us, I'm not speaking by any means for all women. A lot of women can't handle that. A lot of women, like with you saying, yeah, I got an ex that I'm gonna love to the day I die. A lot of women can't handle that. They just want to.
I agree. No, a lot of men for sure can't handle that. But that's why men ain't gonna ask that question. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been in those spaces where I've asked the questions that I did not honestly want the answers to. I've been in that space, and there's no pain worse than you know what I'm saying? Like, you like, yo, so you know, especially dudes set themselves up for this crap all the time. You mad, you in your feelings, but you trying to like act tough about it, and you like, so and you ask one of them stupid questions. God forbid you get a honest chick, and she's like, well, since you asked, boom, and then you just gotta sit with that crap. You like, like all your insides burned up, like with the fire of hell, and like spawns get like Ghost Rider's gaze, bro. Like you just can't get
Ghost Rider's gaze.
It's worse than that. You know what I mean? But you
asked. I'll say this though. I'll say this. I think a lot of stuff is how I always say it's not what you say, is how you say it. So
no, Amani.
Yeah.
If you want to volunteer the information, you know, like if you said, listen, you know, yeah, you know, my ex, I always care about her, you know, but you know, we just didn't work. Like there's a way to say things to somebody. You know what I mean? That's why, you know, it's just you can
diffuse it. You can
absolutely you can diffuse it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm good at doing that. Like I'm not gonna say, if you ask me, I'm not gonna say, I mean, if I see it, you know what I mean, it might just go down.
Well, you done told. Well, number one, you done told everybody on the show. So there, any woman who's probably gonna date you is probably watching your show at some point. They know the information now.
Morgan, now that you mention it, let's picture this scenario. You know how people are out and about, couple they're together, and let's say you're dating a new woman, and you have ex, and y'all are out, and you see this ex that you have chemistry with. The moment you connect with us, she's gonna know. She's gonna pick up on it. So how would you approach? She notices, like, yo, like I'm about to, because what did you look at it so hard? How would you approach that situation?
Honesty. I mean, I would be honest, and it would be about the way that I say it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie about it. So like, if she's like, what was that about? I'd be like, oh no, that was just my ex. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you want me to introduce you, I will. But
I was gonna ask, do you go over to her? Do you go say hi?
That is always the hard part. I don't know. To me, I've been in this situation before.
Can I tell you how I would do it?
I've been in this situation before. It really depends on dynamics of what's happening. Yeah, go ahead.
I'd be like, we don't need to have that conversation. Then you ask who that was, you be like, "Oh, that's my ex," and just keep walking.
No, you're right.
No, you can't say that's my ex because then she gonna be like, "What you waiting at her for?"
Why we gotta talk? What we gonna talk about? We gonna talk about the weather?
Look, if
now hold on. Now I'll be honest with you. My wife knows this. I'm generally cool with all my most of the women that I've dated, like in serious relationships. Most of them are married, so like she knows them all. She's met the majority of. She's met like half of them, I believe. So like we cool, but like there, if there was one that I didn't like. Mm-hmm. Or that it was a different vibe, or maybe that I did like and it just didn't work, I just or if she don't see me, I just keep walking.
Exactly. To me, it's situational, right? So if I peeped her,
especially if she went somebody new, hey, look, ain't no reason to make it messy.
That entire situation is situational, bro. Like for facts, and it also depends on our meet. Wait, did you say it was my wife, or is it just somebody I'm dating, or like because there's
somebody
levels
new
to this.
That you're dating? Somebody new. Let's talk about somebody new.
See, I can't speak from y'all in the single realm. I gotta go back. I gotta shift my mindset.
If it's somebody that I am newly dating and I see my ex, if we make eye contact, I would do something similar to what Javon's talking about. I would do something that's casual, like an acknowledgement, but I'm not getting ready to be like,
or the black man head nod.
The way you want you were gonna be starstruck. The way you were describing this chemistry.
That's true.
This person,
that's true. You was like, oh man, I'm a lover to 96 years old.
I didn't say all that. I didn't see. That's what I'm saying. You mistook what I said. What I said is the chemistry between us cannot change. There's nothing I can do about it. Which is why I said passion means a lot to me. And I'm not talking about passion in the. I'm not talking about passion in the short spurt that you're talking about it, because passion changes forms. Just like love changes forms.
That's the girl at the Walmart that I go to all the time. I saw her at Victoria's Secret when I was buying your gift. I saw her at Victoria's Secret. She worked at Victoria's Secret. She was not. She helped me in everything.
Why in the world did you tell her that? Man, you tripping.
What? If I said I was at Victoria's Secret buying you a gift and she helped me out?
I'm not telling her that.
What?
That was in I Think I Love My Like That. Remember in the movie I Think I Love
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you wild.
No, that was Hitch.
I don't care. I just know I'm not doing that.
Penny shopping. No,
okay. I know what you're talking about. She said, "Yeah, dude, listen, that movie. I love that movie.
I love
that movie. Is real.
Yeah,
that movie is real.
You talking about Hitch?
No,
I think I Love My Wife.
Oh, okay. I don't know
that
if
movie is real. Every man who before they get married need to watch that movie. I'm dead serious. Every single one.
A lot depends on the reputation you have. Yeah, probably.
What I love about that movie is like his mentality, how he feels like, if he was single, he'd be out here doing blah, blah, blah. And the truth is, if he was single out here, he was the same way he was when he was single before. And like, what is fine?
Right.
I was like, okay, all right. I probably watched that movie like twice a year.
I might have to watch that.
You never seen it? I Think I Love My Wife.
It's really funny.
Morgan.
Chris Rock.
Morgan.
I don't think I've
Morgan.
seen it.
That movie ain't that old, man.
It's not about old. See, that's why why you do this all the time?
Because you always say you don't watch movies because they old.
That's one of the reasons. People don't watch movies. Most of the time.
Wait a minute. Morgan, you said you watch all movies with it. How you missed that one?
Wait, who was in it?
Chris.
Stop.
I forgot the other
Kerry Washington is in it, bro. That's the Kerry Washington movie to watch.
Dang.
Bruh.
I may not have known about it, bro.
Kerry Washington, bruh.
Okay. Let me
I'm
say,
so ashamed of you right now.
Why?
I'm so ashamed
bro,
of you. Don't ever call her babe again.
Do you remember when we did romantic comedies?
Right.
Yeah.
It's not a romantic comedy though.
Yeah, but if it is a romantic type movie,
it's not.
What is it about? Why would I have watched it? What would have led me to watch
it? It's a comedy.
It's Chris Rock.
It's Chris Rock, though. It's basically, hold on. The premise of the movie is he is a married man. Him and his wife have been married for a while, and they don't have sex because he was watching Tijuana Jackson. Anyway, so hey, go get that Afro Avenger merch. Happy birthday, Kevin.
Happy birthday, bro.
But basically, him and his wife aren't having sex, and so, but he runs into this girl who he liked back in the day, who had chemistry with him.
Okay.
Yep.
You see how I brought that back? You see that? And had chemistry, and so they start hanging out.
Why? Why would he do that?
Because
they had chemistry, Morgan.
He ain't listening.
No, but if you married, you can't just be doing that.
But the whole point is him and his wife have a disconnect. Like there's a physical disconnect, which is leading. He's at that point in his marriage where he's feeling like every man when you're in married, you go through that period where it's like every day, what you raising your hand for?
Does his wife know that he's going on these?
No.
Get-ups? He's wilding. I would never do that. I would never do that.
Not for Kerry Washington?
No. If I love my wife,
why in the world chemistry? But that's what I'm saying. You got to watch the movie. We're not going to tell you the entire movie.
How many times did he get up with this?
Just watch the movie. This Negro is trying to get
you the one started explaining the movie, nigga.
I gave you the premise of the movie. I'm not reading you the script.
You literally were just reading me the script pretty much.
I didn't read you the script. I literally gave you the premise. If you go on demand, they'll read the same thing.
Watch it to get the context, Morgan.
Come on, man. All right, fine.
Bruh, it's literally on one of those streaming services.
I will watch it. I'm just saying, I know that I'm not, I would not have
done we that. Said, I think I love my wife.
I love my
Nobody
wife.
Said I love my wife.
I'm not doing that, boy.
I love my wife. So
that's a bad idea. I don't know why. He's wilding. Why would you just okay? This scenario I can understand. If they ran into each other, right? Like they ran into each other, and he wants to take the risk of like, oh man, let's catch up.
We're gonna end up telling this man the whole movie.
Like if that happened, fine, that one time. But if you set up something and you don't tell your wife, you're wild.
Like I said, you gotta watch the film, dude. Whatever. You gotta watch the film. But a lot of the film is talking from the man's perspective on like how you can get like stale. Morgan telling you how to be a husband for a movie that's called, I think. Yo, Kevin, man. Yeah, man. Kevin. The whole premise is that the guy, Chris Rock in the movie is feeling like the marriage is stale, and it's informing his decision making.
I understand that. All I'm saying, well, okay, so this goes.
But it's a rabbit hole movie. Like one mistake leads to another. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I say you got to watch the movie.
I said I would watch the movie. I
can't believe you ain't.
I will no longer commentate on this movie. Then
This is literally the movie that Kerry Washington got her whole from her whole reputation as a beautiful black woman. Like that dime reputation came from this movie. There's literally a scene in this movie where I believe every man, married or not, was like, yeah, well, we here now. So not me. I would never do that.
Well, you just said every man.
I said after me, I wouldn't do that.
I'm glad your wife's not on.
Listen, my wife knows Kerry Washington is a beautiful woman. I'm pretty sure my wife loves Idris Elba. I'm pretty sure if she was caught in a similar situation, she loves Idris.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. So for me, going back to my list, communication was number one for a reason. Communication number one to me because in all aspects, whether the marriage is at its height or whether it's falling. The only way back to where you were is communication. So like if y'all go to therapy, the whole reason you're in therapy is because y'all need help communicating with each other, which is why you're going to this therapist to tell them the
But that's
truth.
what I'm saying. You don't need communication. You need comprehension. That's why I use the word. It's two different words. That's why I use comprehension, because
It's gonna
people.
be hard to. It's gonna be It's gonna be hard for you to. You can. I'm not saying you don't need comprehension, but the communicate at some point, you and your spouse have to communicate in order to fix your problems. And
No,
you're
no,
gonna.
no. What I'm saying is that, like, you need both. Because if you just have communication, y'all both just talking. It's like when two people talking at each other,
Yeah, yeah.
but they
Yeah,
not hearing or
but
understanding.
I
That's
think
why I'm saying I'm using both,
I get
because
that, but
they're not mutually exclusive.
well, so I didn't. Okay, so I like first when I was doing my list, I like I said, I try to choose words that encompass more than one thing. I could have said that too. I could have did communication slash. I wouldn't have said communication slash comprehension. I would have said communication slash empathy. That's what I had that on there
That's
earlier.
two different things, though. No, you don't think they're two different things?
Communication and comprehension are two different things.
Not really. It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
They're like pieces of a puzzle that belong together, though. Like, I don't need to
Yeah,
empathize you
but
to
they're not the
understand
same
what you're
thing.
saying.
You, in order for you to care about
That's two different things, though.
Comprehension is not the same thing as communicating.
Yes, it kind of is,
They
though.
go in
No, it's not.
communication.
They go
You have to have a
Go
sender
ahead.
and a receiver. You have to have a sender and a receiver. If both people are sending, nobody's receiving. That's the comprehension piece of.
Right, and that's
I
what I'm
agree
saying.
that,
Empathy is not a necessity for communication.
but you need empathy in order to comprehend.
No, you don't.
Okay.
I don't think you need empathy to comprehend. Because, hold on. Let me give you an example. Your wife can come to you and say, "I'm sad because my coworker at work is being mean to me," and you can go, "Okay, you're sad because your coworker at work is being mean to you." You understand what she said, you comprehended, you communicated. Both parties understand, but you don't have to be empathetic to understand what she's saying. Now, empathy is different. Empathy is trying to feel what the other person is feeling.
But
That's what I'm saying. They're not the same thing. You don't necessarily.
But we're talking about this in context of romantic.
Two different things, though. I understand, but that's what I'm saying. They're two different things, though.
All right.
Because like when I communicate, if you're communicating to somebody, once again, like Roxy was talking about boundaries. If I'm communicating my boundary to you, like my boundary is, like, let's say my boundary is, let's say I don't like people in the bathroom when I go to the bathroom. Because when you get married, like, people can come in and out of the bathroom, like your wife can come in and out, or you could go in and out, or whatever. You could be like, look, I don't want nobody in the bathroom when I'm in the bathroom. Bet. Okay. Your wife could be like, what? I don't understand. And then you explain it to her. And then she goes, oh, okay, I understand. And then that's it. She doesn't have to really empathize with what you're saying. She just needs to understand he doesn't like this, so I'm not going to do it.
All right. I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
I like that example.
It's a weird example, but it's the best I could come up with on the top of my head. But I appreciate it. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, empathy is like when your wife loses, or if your wife loses a loved one and she's just in pain, and you're there and you're with her and you're empathizing and you're sympathizing with her, and that pain that's, you know what I mean? Like that, there's no real communication going on there. You're just seeing what she's going through, and you're, kind of mirroring it.
Yes. What I meant was,
nobody said respect, by the way. That's crazy.
So what I meant was,
you said respect.
Oh no, I was about to say, like, if you meet all of those other things, then
I agree. Like that. That's what I'm saying. With my list, I was thinking of it as a ladder to go up or down. Because like I said, to me, if your communication is failing in your relationship, everything else is a dub. You can forget about it. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no way for your relationship to work if y'all can't communicate. If you can't get help communicating to each other, you're definitely not. You know what I'm saying? That's why sometimes, even though y'all are speaking at each other, that you get a therapist. The therapist gets involved to help you guys communicate and comprehend what the other one is saying. Right? So in communication, I agree with you. I didn't mean to make it seem like I was disagreeing with you about that. They're two wings of the same bird: communication and comprehension, right? Um, and I agree with you that empathy is something different. But when I was thinking about empathy with it, I'm thinking about it as if something's going wrong in your relationship, if you can't empathize with the person that you're in the relationship with, it's going to ultimately hurt your ability or even your want to fix whatever it is. If you can't empathize with them, you know.
Give me an example.
In the example you just gave, like you can say, I don't like other people in the bathroom. She doesn't understand. You explained it. And she's like, oh, okay. She could understand it. She could comprehend that you don't like it. It doesn't mean that she's not going to do it, because if she doesn't understand why you don't like it, you could tell her, but it doesn't mean that she can feel how you feel. Like it might take sometimes in a relationship, because you're not built the same, you have to be able to explain it to this person in a way that they will get it. So like if it's I'm trying to think of an example.
Because I feel like what you're talking about is like respect. More so than empathy.
Respect is attached to it. But what I mean is, to me, in a relationship, if you can't empathize with your partner, it's going to cause issues with the communication, because you can communicate and I can comprehend what you're saying. But if I can't feel it, I'm not as motivated to change my behavior. But if I can understand it from where you're coming from in one way, shape, or form, it'll make me even more so try to connect with it to change my behavior, because I get where you're coming from. It's the same reason, like when a friend confides in you, one of my first things to try to do, if I have a common chord with the person, if they're going through something, is to try to find a rapport. That's the first thing I'm looking for. If I have any experience that's anywhere near it, I'm trying to empathize with you. Like, I understand where you're coming from. I'm very careful to always tell people, I don't know exactly how you feel, right? Because even if you guys went through the exact same thing, you still don't know how that person exactly feels. So I'm always very careful to say that. But I always will try to find the rapport first to make sure that we both are like, hey, I understand on some level what you're going through. Because a lot of times when you can empathize with somebody and they see that you can empathize with them, it helps them open up more. And now you guys can have better communication because you both understand where you're coming from completely. I can comprehend what you're saying, but it doesn't mean I connect with it. You know what I'm saying? To me, the connection is needed, especially if your relationship is in trouble and there's no connection. There's just comprehension, but there's no connection. It's not going to make you change your behavior. You see what I'm saying?
So I agree for the most part, but I do think there is a level of, you're not always going to be able to empathize. And I think that's why respecting like understanding, and then just respecting it regardless of if you empathize with it.
I agree. Like another one
like that to me is more important, because empathy doesn't always come, because I can't empathize with a woman when she's going through a period. Like I can't, like
not in the exact same way, but there's
right. Like I could be like, man, I know you're uncomfortable or you're going, but like men can't empathize. We cannot. Like as much as we can sympathize, but empathy is different. Like we can't feel like I can sympathize and be like, yeah, I know my wife is going through it and I feel so bad that she's going through, like I feel like sympathy for her, and I'm I can respect it, but I can't empathize. But that's why I think like respecting somebody regardless of empathy is probably the more important thing, because if you're always waiting to empathize, like
I don't think you can do that, by the way. I want to make sure that's clear. I'm not I don't think that you should need to empathize with everything.
But that's what I'm saying. Like the respect is respecting somebody's boundaries, like Roxy was saying, as opposed to trying to empathize for said boundary or said discussion or whatever is more important, because especially for men, because we tend to be more.
We don't think the same as women.
We don't. I think most men are more like direct. Whereas, like, okay, so there was a guy put it a certain way. He was like, for men, we all have boxes. We all have our boxes, and this goes in this box, and then we put that box right there, and this goes this box. Whereas a woman, everything is a big ball of yarn. So like things can connect that don't, you have, as a man, we'd be like, what? How does that connect to that? What does that have to do with that? So like for us, like that's what I'm saying. Like for us, and I'm speaking just for a guy, like from a logical point of view, we got to be like, I don't understand, but all right, okay, all right, all right, all right, okay, all right, all right. You don't need me in the bathroom, all right.
I get that.
You understand what I'm saying? Like we could try to empathize. Like I'm not saying that we shouldn't. We should make a point to try and empathize. But if the empathy doesn't come there, respect to at least be like, okay, all right.
Yeah, 100%. No, but
I think we're both saying the same thing.
Yeah, it's still mutually important. You know what I'm saying? Like one that I left off of my list that I really had on there pretty much all day, but I left it off only because I felt like some of the.
How do you feel about that, Roxy? By the way, like we just talking, and like you're the female perspective
about empathy.
Like everything we just said. Like, do you disagree? Agree? Have a different perspective?
I agree that the respect needs to step in. I mean, no offense to you, men are just like, our expectations for them are a little too high. So I think as women, we, for the most part, but y'all not really designed for that. Y'all just aren't.
See, go back. Can you go back? You said that art is too high. What do you mean by that?
Like the expectations you guys to empathize with. And I'll use the example you gave with the period. Like, I know, like, what do you mean you can't help and you don't understand? There's no way, like you said, for you to. So, if my period ice cream, just respect what I got going on. You'll never get it. Even if I grab you by the gonads and squeeze.
Sounds
so
painful.
I agree with you, Javon. Yeah, I agree with you, Javon. Respect needs to overshadow that. But I also agree. I also say you can communicate without empathy. I also agree with that as well.
I think like one of the things that I left off of the list that was really close for me at number 5, I picked integrity because I felt like it encompassed two different things, but compromise is huge to me in a relationship. That's from a sexual component and everything else, but God knows from a sexual component.
Damn, what you doing,
Morgan? Listen, I tend to have a more.
Morgan just putting it all out here tonight.
I tend to have
tell us how many people he was going.
Like, I'm beating it up to the white meat. I know what you want to talk about.
See there, I'm not saying here that.
Actually, I tell you, there's one that I had on my list, and I took it off because I felt like it's a longer conversation, and people, when they hear the word, it triggers them. And I'm gonna say it, even though it's a longer conversation, and I'll try to break it, make it as quick as possible. Submission.
Yeah.
From both parties.
Yes. I agree.
Because every time people talk about submission, it's always like
women
submit to man.
Yeah.
And I believe it's both. But like, I don't think when I think of submission, I don't think of it as do as I say.
Yep.
It's more like, and you know, me and my wife, we struggle with this too. It's a lot of times like we as people want to do what we want to do, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's this guy I remember hearing online where he was like, I do what I want to do. I make all the decisions. Like if I listen to you and I fail, I can't live with that. But if I do it for me and I fail, I can live with that. And I'm like, that's fine. But like when you're in a marriage, like, or when you're in a relationship, it's not that cut and dry. Like there is another person that's involved. And it's like sometimes like, that's why I use the lack of ego. Like sometimes the other person might know something more. And like, even if you feel like, well, I can handle this on my own, you should submit to that person's, you know, understanding of stuff. And that like just little things like that to me is submission. It's not necessarily do as I say. It's we have to submit to each other and understand that like it's okay. Like you know, there's all the talk about the head of the household, like the man is the head of the household, but in reality, you know, the woman handles a lot more than, you know, but like that's why I was really wanted to talk about when you said direction. You know what I mean? Like that, but that's what I mean. Like submission is for both parties. It's not for one party.
I agree.
But I kept it off because I just felt like that's a whole nother show. And I felt like the other things were more important.
I would like to talk about that, but I know that the reason I brought up I think that's good, and I saw that like people put that on the post earlier. You know that came up. Respect came up. Um,
I'm actually kind of upset that Danny and them didn't come on. Not that I'm upset, but it's a different. The conversation is a different. No, excuse me. It's a different slant because you know you guys are given the perspective of people looking, whereas like I'm speaking from in the trenches. Like you know what I mean. Like now I can remember what it was like when I was still looking. Clearly, I mean it is what 10 years ago. 10, 11 years ago when, you know, but it's just it's such an interesting and a different beast, you know?
No, I when I did my list, I was doing it from, I tried to pick things that would be from both. I was just thinking about a relationship period, whether you're getting into one, whether you've been in one. And I was thinking about both sides of it. When it's great, when it's effed up, and once it gets effed up, how do you get it back to great? That's how I was putting my list together. My list was put together like, all right, if this list, if all five are broken, well, if the four of them are broken, how do you fix? How do you fix it? And
can you put your list?
Huh?
Can you put your list down there?
Yeah.
Because I would honestly like if we did like if I was going from that perspective, my list would probably be different.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things I thought was really interesting because we all did the list from different perspectives. You see what I'm saying?
Like if I was thinking of how do I fix a broken relationship, my list would probably the priorities would be different.
Completely.
Like I was thinking of a functioning, like what are the necessities to have a functioning, healthy relationship?
But that's what I'm saying. For mine, I still think it's still, to me, communication runs everything. Like, so we talked about communication and comprehension go hand in hand, right? To me, that runs everything else. That runs everything else. Whether if things are going great, it's probably because y'all are communicating well. Y'all are communicating back and forth. You're understanding each other, and that's helping you move with everything else. You know what I mean? If stuff starts to fall through, the only way to fix it is the communication and comprehension. That's the only way.
But that's why I put trust first, though, because to me, trust informs everything. Because if I trust you, then I understand that everything is genuine. Everything below it is genuine. The things we say to each other are genuine. What is my list? There's no ego, because I'm trusting that you are letting that go. Spiritual compatibility, like I'm trusting that we're both moving within the same spiritual boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Like the same spiritual, and then the physical attraction. I mean, that's just I had to put that because to me, if I'm not attracted, like there are people out there who don't care about physical attraction.
I agree.
I'm not one of them. Like,
no, I
agree. Know what I'm saying? Like, at least initially, like, yeah, we go through life and we expand and shrink and everything. Yeah, it ain't given to me. Like,
no.
What
I meant is, it's like if I had to put love on the list, right? Like, the reason I didn't put love on the list.
Love was a given to me. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. But the reason I use passion instead of love is because passion is a form. It's a more evolved form of love to me, because you can't have passion without you cannot be passionate about something that you don't love, but you can love something that you're not passionate about.
But physical attraction is very important too, because what I'm saying is, like, using the broken relationship analogy. If I'm in a relationship with you and you start to
let yourself go from depression, or you could be going through all kinds of stuff. Women go through all kinds of stuff, men go through all kinds of stuff. And men with the dad bods, man, I've been fighting that dad bod for a decade now. Like, there has to be, to me, a genuine effort to remain physically attractive to each other. Agreed.
Because and I'm not saying that y'all gotta stay super slim or be caked up, but if you put on 350 pounds in 2 years and you were 105, like, there's go ahead, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Rob.
If you're a person in a relationship with a person to that stage, when you have communicated that at some point, like, hey, like, I had an ex, it was like, hey, you getting kind of big. I think I had jumped into like 160. He was like, you getting kind of big. I was like, well, damn. He was like, I was like, I hadn't planned on it, but I reckon I should probably do around. I think it's all in how you approach that too.
I agree.
You get big. Like,
and it's still,
you also can't be 350 pounds yourself telling somebody else they get big too.
That's a fact.
Like,
but that's why
I'm just saying, like,
that's why to me that the compromise stayed on my list for a lot of different reasons, because that was my way to address the physical attraction, the sex, because it takes compromising for every aspect of your relationship requires compromise at some point, in good ways and in bad ways. It's going to be, because at some point in your relationship, y'all are not going to agree. So the way around it, both of you aren't going to get your way, probably. But at some points, men have to learn where to choose your battles, bro. Like, you can't fight all of them. I think that's good advice.
I'd argue that sometimes it's not important for you to get your way.
What?
Sometimes it's not important for you to get your way.
No, you're right.
Sometimes the compromise just ain't gonna be there. So sometimes you just gotta take that L.
That's facts.
You gotta be happy with that L.
That's facts. But there's gonna be things that you have to compromise.
No, I'm not. I'm saying it, but I think the amount of time we spent, like, who was it? Was a pastor who told me that? He's like, people are always looking for compromise. People are always looking for compromise, and then sometimes there is no compromise. Sometimes it's one way or the other.
You're right, and
you just have to determine, like, what'd you say?
I said, you're right. Like, I'm dipping or I'm staying. Like, that's
not even to that. Like, for me,
it is.
I know you just went to the extreme. I was trying to talk. I'm talking about paint colors in the doggone room, and you about to talk about.
I apologize. I'm just keeping it a band, like that. But that's my point. If I love you, if the other things in the list are in place, then I'm willing to compromise, or at the least, it's still compromising. If we're compromising is like a negotiation. Some negotiations ain't gonna work, and that means this relationship don't work. Simple as that. It's still compromise. You know what I'm saying? But it's still compromise to me. It's still negotiation.
It's just you go so far to the other side.
I told
There's a whole spectrum between.
You're right. You're right.
That, the relationship may work. So
it's the same way. Like the way that I talk, people think I'm violent. I'm not violent, but I'm
not saying that you're violent.
No. Just let me explain. The way that I talk, people laugh at me all the time because they're like, "Bro, you always talking about fighting." I'm not. It's just because I'm from Durham. I don't know if it's just a Durham thing. For me, everything can cut to the chase quick. There is nuance in everything, but the chase of it is, I mean, you're not going to, what, we're going to fight about it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I always have the extremes. There's the middle, and I can hang in the middle.
Roxy. Like, look, here's the deal. Like, what's your percentage of compromise then? Like, what's your percentage of compromise?
Oh, that's a good conversation. Wait, okay. That's a good conversation, and it's very important to me. To me, if you're coming into a relationship and you don't have not ultimatums, but
boundaries.
Boundaries would probably be good. Boundaries probably be good.
But see, that's what my question is. When you talk about compromise, what are you talking about? I'm not necessarily talking about like. I'm just talking about like there are points in the relationship where you want to go watch the game with the guys and she doesn't. She wants you to do blah, and then you have to determine, okay, well maybe I'll do this, and then at halftime go in.
That's where boundaries come in. If I know that you're a football fanatic and you really want you to come, I can't, as a person who respects your boundaries, be like, because that's a boundary for you. And
but hold on. But what if it's like an event, like a family event, and you know what I'm saying? Like there's something that you need, and it happens to fall on a Sunday, like.
So we're gonna have to talk for this thing out.
I'm gonna say, hey, I know that this family event falls on football Sunday. Is that to compromise on? If you say no, I completely get it, and we just won't go. And I have to respect. You are willing to compromise.
What if it's something that what if it's something for you though?
So
you knew that going on.
Okay, I got you. No. Let's say Designs by Roxy blowing up, and you got an event that you showing your stuff. Happens on football Sunday.
I'm not gonna expect him to be there because it's football Sunday.
Really?
Unless he really wants to be in, I can't get mad because if it's an event that I'm having, it's on the other foot. I'm gonna be like, dang, I really want this person to come, but that's a boundary. When
that's interesting.
I think it's important though.
I'm self-aware. Yeah, it's my grand opening event. It's on Sunday. This is football Sunday. I knew Sundays were his day.
You should have planned around that.
Thought about that.
Yep.
Very considerate.
Amen.
So I wouldn't need you to compromise if I'm aware of your boundaries.
Yes.
Amen. I'm gonna ask.
Amen.
Ask either way, like,
which is where compromise comes in.
And he might even say, you know what? I understand that this is a big day for y'all Sunday. So while we at the event, I can stream on my phone. It's a win-win situation.
Compromise. Right. So to me, if you're coming into a relationship, if you're coming into a relationship, and like I said, I don't want to say ultimatums, but if you don't have, there's a word that I use usually when I'm having these conversations, and I can't think of what it is right now. If you boundaries works, but there's another word, and I can't think of what it is. Like if you're coming into a relationship and you don't like, one thing that always irritates me, whether it's my friends that I actually know or whatever, if you met this person, you're feeling them. What's up? What's good, Daryl? If you met this person and you're feeling them, y'all had these conversations, you know what means something to them or whatever, and you knew that coming in, and you decide to get with this person anyway, knowing those things. If you later on try to change them, that is a you problem, not a them problem.
Right.
100%. So
I'm
if
not
you
disagreeing. I'm just interested that was your response.
yeah, if you chose this person, if you not no, don't get it twisted. Like Rock is like everybody. Everybody has their own things. So Rock's just saying that's a strong suit for her.
No,
You know what
I
I'm
get
saying?
it. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
So, but that means a lot to me in a relationship because I don't do well with clinginess.
Well, I don't look at that as clinginess. Like that to me is
I'm not
just
saying it
that.
is.
Right.
I'm talking about me in general. Like I don't do well with clinginess. I'm not saying that if my girl is into me like that and she wants to be around me all the time, that's an awesome problem to have. Like that's a great thing because I've chosen to be with you on purpose, right? Like that's why we're together. The boundaries part of it is like we need to figure out how do I still have my own autonomy, kind of, but also satisfy the QT time that you want. You know what I'm saying? Again, compromise. Like I need to figure that out. When I was talking about the sexual part earlier, I'm saying like different people have different setups for their relationship. Some people have open relationships. Some people have, you know what I'm saying? Some people like sex just missionary and they think everything else is like the devil or, you know what I mean? Like you have to know this
I had a
person.
really bad joke I kept to myself.
I'm so glad you did.
I wanted to say it so badly.
Well, I mean, space and opportunity.
Anywho. Now, I mean, I got you. I understand. I understand what you're saying. I comprehend what you're saying. What do they say? Message heard, message received.
I'm getting ready to put See, I thought I would cheat. See, you know, that's why I be changing my stuff because I ain't want nobody to say nothing. I had mine up there like that, the communication thing, because the communication and understanding go hand in hand.
Well, the only reason I do that is because I talk to my pastor a lot, especially I ask him for advice and stuff, especially about marriage. He's been married for one of my old pastor. He's been married for a long time, and one of the things he does say to me is, you guys can be talking at each other, and you guys can hear each other. You probably just not understanding. You probably are saying you're saying A, she's saying A, and you're talking. You're like they're just going past each other's so you're not really understanding what the person is saying,
I put it up
because
there, Danny.
because Danny got time to he got time to chat, but he ain't got time to talk.
Don't get me started.
But that's what I'm saying. Like that was one of the things that he brought to my attention, because a lot of times,
a really important thing. It really is important. It really is.
Yeah, because a lot of times we spend more time talking than listening, and then 100%. Trying to understand. I'm not gonna sit here in front like I don't. I talk like I'm a talker, but
I had to do that with my friends. I had to do that with my friends. Again, my best female friends taught me a lot.
We know you a talker, Morgan.
Shut up. That's not what I'm talking about.
We know. Everybody know that.
That's not what I'm talking about. She'll tell me, like, she'll be telling me about a situation. I'm going to have thoughts. My natural personality, I want to help, right? So if you tell me something, I'm not if you tell me something, I'm going to be trying to figure out how to fix it. You know what I'm saying? So, and sometimes that's not what they want. Sometimes they just want to vent. They don't want your opinion, right? So I had to learn to be like, okay.
You know what somebody told me to say? You know what somebody told me to say? And I try to say it a lot. Like my wife will tell me something, and I'll be like, "Are you asking for? Are you telling me this so I can listen, or are you asking for a solution?"
That's what I do.
And then she'll be like, "I just want you to listen." I'll be like, "All right, cool."
Exactly.
And I just be sitting there listening.
I had to learn to do that. I had to learn to do that.
I forgot where I heard that. Like it might have been like a meme or something on Facebook, And I saved it to my phone. I was like, nope, I gotta take that. And I saved it to my phone. And I try to like my wife would tell me about a problem at her job or something, and I'd be like, are you asking for a resolution or are you just asking to vent? Oh, I just want to talk. Okay, cool. What? Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get that old girl. Yeah, sure enough. That so
No,
like
but that's
I'm
really
with you.
important,
Me
though.
and you more we right there though.
Yeah.
Because like my first
really
inclination is you telling me this so to fix it. So let's fix it. Because I'm a fixer.
Because I don't my mind naturally works to there's a problem, right? I don't like sitting and complaining about the problem, right? So again, I want everybody to make sure they understand what I'm saying. I'm not annoyed by somebody else venting. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying my mind, when you're starting to tell me, my mind is naturally like, you told me this. I wonder if I'm still listening to you actively, but my mind, part of my mind is still ticking like tick, 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 like, oh man, I wonder, okay, I know I can do this. I'm still listening to you. But what I had to learn to do again, because like I said, with my best female friend, she was like, I forgot what she was telling me, bro. And I started going in. Whatever it was, it pissed me off because it's her. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, nah, son. You know what I'm saying? Like she's telling me I'm about to go off. And I'm like, nah, what we need to do, I'm getting ready to go in. And she was like, yo, hey, chill the F out, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just need you to listen. You know what I mean? I don't always want you to try to, fix whatever it is. Sometimes I'm just talking to, and my best male friends too. So now, and I transferred that to other relationships. So there's two threads I talk on every day. My two best male friends and my best female friend. We talk about stuff as men do. You know what I'm saying? Like marriage stuff, work stuff, whatever. They say whatever they're saying, and I'll be and like they could just be spouting off. And the first thing I'm gonna say is, so you know what I'm saying? Like, do you want me to? You know what I mean? Like, are you looking for input, or you just need to get it off your chest? You know what I'm saying? I want to know that first, so I don't even waste time.
You know what's weird? I don't do that with my guy friends.
I definitely
when they tell me their problems, I'll be like, man, that's crazy, man. Yeah, man, that's crazy.
Nah, because I'll start shooting immediately.
Because
if they see me, I'm like, bah, 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 I'm shooting.
Well, no, because like I don't know, maybe like I'm not trying to fix their problems unless they ask me to, which is weird. Ooh. Whereas like if it's my wife, like I want to help.
Go ahead, Rob.
You know what I'm saying?
Can you guys do a top 5 things that men should like talk? Yeah, you guys should talk about men relationships and friendships. Like 5.
So top I'm about to put it in my list. Top
5 what? You got to give us something though. We need a topic.
I don't know.
We want to talk about more than just
we want to go off road more. So
okay. Requirements for healthy male relationships, maybe, or something like that. Because I don't think enough men are having conversations about like the dynamics of male friendship. Should or shouldn't include, or what.
That's a good one. That's a real good one. That's a real good one.
I'd love to do that next week.
Yeah, we might be able to do that next week. We could. You know what? I would really love to do top 5 necessities for a male-female friendship.
Ooh, Lord Jesus! Now you being messy. Now
how's that messy?
You know why it's
messy. I'm not messy. Truth be told, I'll be perfectly honest. Like my wife knows every female that I've ever dated has been aware. I grew up in a church, and I grew up with the same group of friends within the church, and it was a mix of boys and girls. So we all grew up together, and we're all still really cool and really friends. Really good friends. Few of my best friends are female, and I know like my wife, when she came in, she was like,
I don't like this, bro.
She didn't say I didn't like this. She was just trying to figure what was, the relationship dynamic. You know what I mean? And like, she wasn't the first one to express that to me. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until later on that she kind of was like, oh, so that's like your sister. Mm. You know what I mean? Like y'all like brother and sister. Y'all not like there's nothing there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know a lot. What'd you say?
I said y'all ain't smashing the fast. That's
no, like, yeah, like there's none of that, and no point, at least on between me and them. Like, I can't speak for the other guys that are part of it, but for me, there's no like romantic background. Mm-hmm. So like, I know a lot of women, that's a difficult thing to be comfortable with, like, having, a man, especially like when you're in a relationship. So that's why I'm really interested, because there's some men who believe that they shouldn't be friends with female when they're in a relationship.
Yeah. Oh man, I got stories for days.
Yeah, I'm about to say there's women like this.
Roxy got loud. Like, oh man. But for me, I don't like, for me, it's not a big deal because I grew up with it like that. It's not.
I'm not saying for you it's not. I'm saying for most men, listen, bro.
It's all about the boundaries of that friendship for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the respect level that dude has for me. Now, if he is testing the boundaries, and then I got to be like, nah, bro. Like, this ain't working.
Yeah, I think that again, it comes back to what Rock was talking about with the boundaries. Like, I think that
it depends more on the dude than it depends on
a fact.
my significant other.
That is 100% a fact. Yeah, because for me, the only time that I don't get jealous of a dude or dudes finding my wife, my girlfriend, whatever, attractive. That crap don't bother me at all. It's a compliment. Appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Where it starts to become a problem is if you disrespectful with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you see,
I give you an example. I'm gonna give you an example of that. Like, there be dudes who, like, if you're a man and you see your female friend is with her man, and when you see her, you bear hug, pick up, and do all that nonsense, you deserve to get your butt kicked.
I'm guilty of that,
you deserve.
I didn't know he was standing there
to get your butt whooped. Did you not see her with the man walk up? Did you not see her?
No, I just saw her. Why would I lie?
I feel like you lied.
Why would I? What reason?
I don't know. I know. See, to me, you got to do the church hug.
No, it depends on my relationship.
No. I will end this because I had a homeboy who he and I would always hang out, and I never met his day that I met his girlfriend. She was just like, and I went. It was no bueno. She's dead.
See
who you be, and I just was like, hey, what's up? Nice to finally meet you. She just looked at me like,
but what I'm saying is, like, I'm talking about the not so much like that person, like the significant other is being rude to you. I'm talking about you being rude, like the other person being rude to you in front of the significant other, or being, you know what I'm saying? That's why I said the dude who comes over and bear hug. Like, if I be damned, if I saw if me and my wife are out.
He recognized me from behind, and so that's why I think it was like, "Hey, yo, Rock," and I was walking in front of them, and I had no, you know me from the back, like, who is that?
That's what I'm saying. Old buddy said, "I know that booty anywhere." Come here, girl.
Nah, man, you gotta be. You know what? He did that wrong. What he should have done. He should have he should have walked. He should have like grabbed his girl and like quickly walked side by side with y'all, and then was like, "Hey, that's like you can't."
Yeah, nah, you can't do that, bro. He's wild.
No.
Hey, girl.
See, he messed up there. That's his fault.
I know that booty anyway. Hey, girl. Hey, Rock.
No, you can't do that. That's wrong. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm with my wife somewhere and some dude like picks, if he ain't a cousin,
it's a fight
by blood.
It's a fight.
Hey, what's going on here?
No, that
like listen. I only lived in Georgia for a very little bit of time, but the accent an accent will come out. Like
look,
no, like
I don't
but
see. That's what I'm saying.
that's the type of friends that like would concern me, as
Of
opposed
course.
to like if I see like my wife has a friend who's a painter, and I met him. He was cool. Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? He was respectful. He talked to me. We had a good time. Blah 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 blah. Like he was being polite to me. He was being respectful of the relationship. But if he's like walking around and he got one arm around your waist and
he's wild
and y'all touchy feely and all that, I'd be like, touching all on my way. What you doing?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. There's always limits to things.
Yeah.
So in the instance where I effed up because I legit didn't even. I don't know if he was like if he went to the bathroom.
Morgan almost got his ass.
No. This was at
Morgan almost got his ass whooped that day.
It was at a class. It was at a class reunion.
You should have assumed, Morgan. You should have assumed. You should have did that at the class reunion.
You're right. You're right. I look. I took my L.
Hey,
I took my L. It was what it was. But
I always do the church hug until I know otherwise. That side hug when you just you get the shoulder. You get around and get the shoulder.
I mean, that's the safest way to do it. I agree.
I do it all the time.
I agree. I agree.
I don't hug no woman.
I'm a big hugger though, but
I like hugs too.
You're completely right.
But there are no women that hug me around my neck but my wife. Especially when you get married, ain't nobody hugging me around. Like they put their arms around my neck.
Smart.
Huh?
That seems smart.
Now, like that ended. That ended the day the ring came on.
No, I that's what I'm saying. That seems smart to me. I just
unless they like family, but even then it's like even then it's like you still got the space for Jesus in between.
I felt
like baby,
I felt really bad too, to be honest with you. I apologize.
You almost got your ass whooped, man. So he was about to come in with a drop kick. He ain't want the blessing of Jesus prevented that.
I would have ate it because I earned that, and I didn't mean to earn it, but I did. You know what I'm saying? So I would have ate it. It wouldn't have been I wouldn't have tripped about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I legit, like Rock said, like I shouldn't have assumed. You know what I'm saying?
If they calling after 8 o'clock, that's probably a problem. If you what you calling after 8 for, bro? Come on, man. We all settling in.
Well, I will say this. I will say that the person that I'm dating like I am an avid mental health advocate, male friends, and if a male friend is calling me at midnight, it may be like an emergency, and I really have to answer my phone. And when you hear how deep my friend, it's gonna come off as problematic, but just know like this is nothing. Like he would never at midnight, knowing how big I am on my sleep. I'm dating. If I have to answer my phone at midnight, it's not gonna be on no yes.
See, but to me, again, that goes back to the boundaries thing. Because that's why to me, one of the most important things in any relationship period, especially if it's getting ready to be any type of romance, is all cards on the table. I'm not talking about, what I'm saying? I'm not talking about like literally whole life story the first time I'm meeting all that. But what I mean is like pertinent information that's going to help me decide what this is, where we're going, should we go, that type of stuff.
Well, my question to Roxy is, so the dude who's calling you, say at midnight, what is he calling about again? I'm just curious, like the type of conversation.
So because my friend is calling at midnight is more than likely because they're on edge, they're sitting in their car off the ledge. So I don't take calls like that, from my friend.
Is that like a client or a friend?
It's just a friend, like a male friend. So I like, hey,
Yeah, but that's kind of extenuating circumstances. You know what I'm saying? That's like, I'm trying to think of like a doctor. Like, if you're married to a doctor, you're dating a doctor. I know my Say what?
But the guys that are saying, like, there's gonna be times, and you know, some people are like, oh, you're just BS your phone for a nigga at midnight. Like, it's really not like that. So I'm telling you,
it is hard to believe, though.
Me or not.
That is, well, so I'm just, as a guy, in my mind, I'm like, he ain't got nobody else to call. That would be my first thought, even though I know what you're doing and I know, you know, what you do and the relationships involved. But in my mind, I'm like, he ain't got nobody else to call. Or if it's like
you and not me.
Huh?
Exactly.
That has everything to do with you.
No, I'm not. That's why I said I would. Like, for me, like, my mind would be like, okay, like if it happened once, I'd be like, okay. But if it was like, if old boy was calling like every week,
oh no.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, if it's like more than once on a frequent basis, then I'm like, all right, you probably need therapy.
I tell you where
that would be like, I'd be like, sir, you need a therapist.
I tell you where I'd be bothered if that mug, if he calls
don't go
if he calls at a normal time and you getting your slender thick self up out of the bed to go up out there somewhere. Oh no. If you doing that more than once,
oh yeah.
I'm coming with you or something, bro. Like, yeah,
I'd be like, we
both gonna help him. Let me go grab the Holy or
I'd be like, so he's in his car, he ain't feeling it. I was like, all right, I'll drive you.
Yeah, you doggone right. We partnership. We going together, baby. Let's go.
And if there's any the slightest bit of nah, you don't need to do that, then we got a problem. Nope. But, why are you trying to convince me not to do it? No, but at
the same token, like, I feel like that's because, you know, this is my friend and, you know, they're having this emergency. You know, I'm at my location. Like, I think that's where the communication comes into play, because sometimes we don't explain our friends and who they are to us. Like, this is a friend where if they call at midnight, I'm answering. This is a friend where, you know, I'm going to sit with my friend. Like,
so what if it was the other way around though? Would you be okay with that?
As long as we've had a conversation about it, yes.
Because I'm in my mind, I'm trying to think of any female friends I had that would call me at midnight, because they were like, and I would be like, why are you calling me at midnight? Like, that would be my first thought. Like, anybody calling me at midnight, it could be male or female, truth be told. Like, that's just, once I got married, like, people calling me after 8 o'clock doesn't happen anymore. Like, it has to be like a full-blown emergency.
Yeah, most people will respect it, but I think that's just me as a friend, where if there's a mental health emergency, I'm gonna answer.
I'm sure you on that.
It sounds like it's a certain friend as opposed to like everybody.
Yeah. It's not everybody. It's not.
Yeah,
everybody.
I think.
Still, at some point, I'd be like, man, your friend needs a therapist. He needs some help. Like, you need that'd be weird to me. I don't know. I'm being stupid.
But you're being honest, and those are conversations. Like, hey, how did that make you feel? Were you uncomfortable? Like, I'm gonna ask, like, hey, if this, I'm gonna have to have a conversation with my friend to make it more accommodable for all of us, for everybody.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's like you know, my wife, you know, she has children with another with her children's father, and they have a very close relationship. Now, I'm not quite out when we first started dating, I wasn't quite used to that. You know what I mean? Because the other experiences I've had has been like, you over there, I'm over here. You know, like we only talk when it has to do with the kids, but like they have a genuine friendship, and you know, there was some like, okay, this is cool now, this isn't cool now. You know, like there was a lot of that at the beginning of when we, you know, our relationship. And there were a lot of conversations, and it's you know, it's evolved to where it is now, you know. So she still has her friendship, and I really don't care, you know. You know, he over there, he in Florida, and you know, it is what it is.
I
So
mean,
yeah, we all have our, you know.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
Morgan, I'm sure you deal with that too.
God knows I do. I mean, me, especially with my son. You know what I'm saying, with him having special needs. So I mean, me and his mom could talk multiple times a day. It's not because we shooting the crap. You know what I'm saying, like in Kiki. You know what I'm saying? We talking about my son and what's going on. We got to plan things around him, stuff like that. If he's in the hospital or whatever, you know what I'm saying. It ain't no. But again, that's why I'm so candid and open about things in my relationship. I don't have nothing to hide from you. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you what it is. Everything means everything. Well, let me. That's what the better.
But that's why I say, like, everybody is not built to
100%.
date people who already have kids or marry people who
That's a
already have
fact.
kids, because it's.
Did I tell you about that time? I had 4 kids,
About who?
3 baby mamas.
No, but I would love to hear it. You know, I want the tea, bro. Where my tea? Where my teacup?
Oh man.
You just
No,
need
you
to
did not.
continue with it.
Look, I think, but that to me, that's another reason why communication is the number one thing to me, because how well you communicate all of those things is very important. That to me, the setup, that's the framework for everything else. You know what I'm saying? Like some stuff is not gonna. You can't build without the communication of what you're expecting. The direction thing goes into communication to me, because I agree with you 100%. Like, are we just smashing? Or is this a one night stand? Are we gonna do whatever? And sometimes even just having that conversation, you don't even know that yet. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, I want to hear the story though.
Oh my bad. I ain't.
What happened to the tea?
Oh, so yeah, he had 4 kids, 3 baby mamas. Everything was good. At one point, I was even babysitting the kids. He was a great single father. But I think there were just certain needs I couldn't meet for him, because I'm just everywhere all the time. Like, you know, and I don't want to get in the way of me being a great dad, so fall back. And I'm okay with that. But there was a conversation we had, and I knew going in and stuff going on, and you know, we had really, really good communication. Really, really good communication. But some people will be like, oh no, you know, he needs to focus on me. I think people who they date and how and why they're dating.
Hey, listen, when I was first dating my wife, I would see her basically saw her half of the year. Like the first, like, because she would have the girls for 1 week, and then you know, they would go with their dad for the next week. So the weeks that they weren't with their dad, the weeks that they were with their dad is when we would spend the times, you know, stay over. We would, you know, spend time with each other. And this is before I met the kids. Once the kids came home, I was out. It was all phone talking. I'll see you then. And I think that went on for like 3, maybe 4 months until I met the girls. And then it was like a slow integration. Like, you know, you can come over now. You can come over when we were having dinner once during the week. And then eventually it kind of, the wall started coming down, and then I started spending more and more time. But like, I saw her for like half the time. And like, I know a lot of guys can't deal with that, you know, like they can't deal with, wait, I can't see you for like a whole week. Yeah, dude. Like, I didn't see my now wife. I didn't see her for a whole week. Like, we just talked on the phone. That was back, you know, back in when we was talking on the phone till 2 in the morning, 2 in the morning.
Was it a rose phone, Javon?
It was probably like, you know, they had a the switchboards, you know what I'm saying? You got to put the call in, you know what I'm saying? Wait for somebody to put it.
I just want to point out that Morgan was married before I was. So I just want to point that out. Morgan was married before I was, but whatever. No, that was only 11. That was like 11 years ago. So you do the math.
all right, well, you know.
But see, I now in your case, right? I don't know if I've talked to my wife about this before. I don't know if I could date a woman who had more than one baby father. I can tolerate one.
I was going through an interesting patch where I wanted to try all the things. Like I wanted the queen, I wanted to date the baby daddy. Like I was just going through some things.
And
it
now back then I couldn't do it
until it wasn't. Like I said, he made time for me. He was really, but I think I was just in a little bit over my head.
Well, like I feel like I can't speak to what baby mamas is like, but I can speak to what some baby daddies is like, and like there's like this ego thing, you know what I mean? Like, and I dated other women. I've dated one other woman who had a kid, and her baby father. I swear to God, I wanted to just jump, snap, mule kick that dude in the side of the head. He was so freaking immature, and it was just like. I don't know if I could deal with more than one person having that type of immaturity. You know what I'm saying? Like that joint.
Like somebody that's dealt with it before, it always is going to come down to the individuals. So,
but that's what I'm saying. Like even if it's two dudes, even like if no, I'm going to be careful what I say. If you're doing with two or more men, if I have to deal with two or more men. And then I have to deal with how they raise their sons or daughters, and then how I'm going to be a part of that. And then it's just too many. It's too many moving parts for me.
A lot of testosterone. Yeah.
Oh my God, dude. And then like they just get stupid, man. And you just be like, dude, I'm not trying to take over and be your dad, be your kid's dad. All right, calm the hell down.
But like, so being careful when dating people with kids, because some women will be like, well, I don't want the new bitch around because I don't know, like people are weird. They're really weird.
But that's my point. That's why I say like it to me, in my experience, it always comes down to the individual. I've been in situations where one dude's cool, the other one's a dick. Like it's an ego thing, like old buddy feel like because he's got the baby with her. You know what I'm saying? Because he's got the baby with her, she kind of still secretly want him, and you know what I mean. There's always that, or I could always get her back. The other one ain't not near a bit of thought like that at all. They're just great co-parenting.
That's what I'm saying. It's too much maneuver. That's too much like maneuvering for me. Like I don't, you know what I mean? I can tolerate. All right, you know, my daughter's dad. That's him. I know what to expect. I can deal with one guy. You know what I'm saying? Like one dude. All right, boom. That's what I have to deal with. I got to deal with him and then him. And God forbid there's another him. Listen, I'm not shaming any woman who has more than one. But I'm saying I personally can't deal with the juggling of the like. And then I have to. Because you have to deal with. You end up dealing with the woman and how each of them affect her.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, all right, this one pissed her off. Okay, but then next week, this one pisses her off. You know what I mean? Like, it's nope, him, David.
Yeah, and that would that would be a personal decision that you have every right to make if you choose not to put yourself in that situation. I am the
second baby daddy.
I personally will, I'm kind of like what Rocket said. Like I think it's fine to tap out once you realize that you're in over your head. You know what I'm saying? Like if you realize that this situation can't work for you. Not number one, the other part you always have to remember is that the person that you're talking to, the person that you're with, or the person that you're thinking about getting with is aware of that coming into it. You know what I'm saying? Like I've dated a woman that was awesome. You know what I'm saying? She was spectacular. I've dated and the guy was he was a dick. Felt like he was gonna get her back. Felt like he possessed her. Like I'm talking about like we had to when we did get up to go somewhere. Like we gotta like she looking over her shoulder to make sure he ain't around somewhere. Somebody that he knows. You know what I'm saying? Or what, like all of that. You know what I'm saying? I dealt with that before. That we weren't in a relationship, we were dating. So that's different. But
that's too much.
It was a lot.
That's too much.
But I again, did I fight him? Mm-mm. We never. I don't know that we met. I can't remember if we met or not.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know if I could.
He would have tried me though.
Back in the day,
based on reputation. No, I'm serious. Based on reputation, he would have tried me.
Yeah, see, back in the day, if there's a dude like back in the day, if I was trying to talk to a woman and then she's telling me that she got a crazy ex-boyfriend
that's
who is you know who's possessive and he's still, I'm like, nah, I'm good, man. I ain't in the mood to fight. Every right to do that. I ain't in the mood to fight. Like, but y'all can have that, man.
But that to me is one of the biggest reasons that communication up front is very, very important. Okay. I've had friends that said, like, when me and my ex-wife had the conversation, like, when you have a conversation about your number, of course, a lot of my friends are like, why would you? No, you don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, number one, don't talk about it.
I don't need
number one, neither party should have asked. But if the party does ask, you better lie, nigga. Don't you dare say, you know what I'm saying, what the actual number is, nigga. Are you stupid? You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the conversation I had to have, but that's just not how I tick. You know what I'm saying? If you ask, I'm going to tell you. The problem with that situation was it was just like I wanted to be honest. So I'm like really like calculating, you know what I'm saying? Like really like thinking to make sure, okay, did I leave anybody out? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm really going through it.
See, I don't want to have her think about the number. Like,
I know
why you think it's so hard.
But in that situation, if they ask,
we can infer over time. That's how I. See, but okay. The male. All right, I got it. I got it. I figured it out. I've done the algebra. Okay, I know.
The male-female dynamic for that conversation, though, is very much so different. So if that's why I brought it up. I had it. There was a chick that I was dealing with at a time, and she was What'd she say?
Had no direction. Had no direction. What are we doing? No direction.
No. Again, I've never had an issue in that area, so you know what time it is, right? And if you don't, then we can have that conversation. I'm gonna be honest about it, right? So there was no issue on that front at all. I was thinking about like the PC way to say it, so you know, but she was open about like her number, like she ain't have no issue telling you, but the stigma for women and what their number is completely different than it is for a dude. So if a chick's number get over 3, we
3.
That's why I don't.
I said if a chick. Wait, I didn't tell my number. I said if a chick's number gets over 3. No, I'm talking about
if she says more than 3. Like,
I know some dudes that more than 3 is already like. You know, I'm dead serious. I'm not saying me because I don't care. I don't care only because
Roxy, you just called yourself out. What you doing? What you doing?
Like 3 like that number is just like it ain't even like men. I'm gonna safely assume that most men have way more than 3.
Without question. Especially like once you get in your 30s. If you ain't had more than 3 in your 30s, God bless you. God bless you. But from a female perspective, I'm just saying the stigma is different. So, and dudes are very petty. I was having a conversation earlier with my coworker and my boy and my coworker. That's a conversation for another day.
I was like, you just going down that rabbit hole. I'm gonna be quiet.
I was gonna no.
I'm just gonna sit right here. What I was gonna say. I personally don't ask. I just infer over time. As long as you clean, I just be like, okay, you mentioned him. All right, that's one. And then, okay, you mentioned him. All right, that's 2. Okay, that's 3. Okay,
Why
that's
do
4.
that?
Okay, that's 5. I don't need to know the number, but my mind will keep track. And I just be like, okay, so I got an idea. Okay. I don't need to ask because I figure over time, like the information will come out.
But how is that coming up? Like, why is that coming
up? I mean, you can have conversations, like you have conversations about previous relationships. Like you don't talk about like previous relationships.
Just because you hear a name doesn't mean there is some not.
No. What I said is that we have conversations about previous relationships. So I'm assuming that within this conversation, that information comes up. You know what I mean? Like there could be, because there'd be guys like, oh yeah, you know, we went on a date or 2. And I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? But like, oh, you know, we messed around. Oh, messed around. See, well, I know that euphemism. Like I'm not stupid. Okay, cool. I'm not mad, but you know, I understand. That's on the checklist. All right, I got it. Okay, all right, that's 6. All right, 6. All right, cool. We had 6, and that's just that. Like that's me though, because I don't necessarily. What happened?
At any point after she gets past 6, do you say, "Hey, no more talk about that"? Once she gets past 6,
I don't really care. Like everybody had that's Morgan. Morgan be like 3.
I don't
3.
Lie.
You say 3? Care. No, I'm done.
I know dudes that are bothered by. I know
that's
dudes
Morgan.
Bothered by 3 or more, bro. I'm dead up.
I personally don't care. We all have a past, especially like he said. Like the older you get, like
yes,
it's. I mean,
I don't care what the number
unless
is.
she's a nun. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I was in a convent and then I just came out. Well, no, what I'm saying is that if you were a nun and then you came out of the convent, you'd have a low number. Like,
maybe.
Like, why? I don't want to put I wouldn't put anybody on the spot to be like, you know. Now, if you ask me, I'd be like, you sure? You want to know that? I mean, okay, you know, I'll give you the number. Like, you know, it's not that, you know, it's not that big a deal for me. Like the whole concept of knowing a number is kind of silly.
To me, it ain't no big deal, so I really wouldn't care.
If it's under 3 from work.
That's sad. You keep trying to do that.
I didn't. She did. Roxy did. Roxy started it. I'm just going with it.
3 is not for me. When I was having this conversation with this young lady, this young lady, she told me, y'all don't know her, and you know, I think she said like 20 something, and I was like, you know, it is what it is. I mean,
I was about to do the Kevin Hart, damn, but no, I did. I was about to do it, but that would have been mean.
But I'm just saying it from a perspective of like I for those who don't know, I'm very much so against double standards. So I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like if a dude is a pimp for getting his rocks off, then so is the chick. Like I'm not gonna start calling the chick a hoe because you know what I'm saying? What I do is on the other side.
So Morgan, real talk. If she was like,
you ain't want to know my number.
I'm asking. No, I don't care about your number. Why you keep trying to tell us?
You had a curious face on.
You don't even know what I was gonna say.
You had a curious face on.
Anyway, so real talk. If she was like 105,
that's impressive. I would have questions.
Roxy, if you met a dude and you asked his number and he was like $105.
That's impressive, bro.
I'm just asking. You ain't going to at least double take a bit.
That's a lot of bodies, go.
That is a lot of bodies.
The last time you got tested, like, are you?
Yeah. See, there you go.
Like,
valid question.
Like, is this an issue? Like, is it what's the word?
So numbers do matter. Numbers matter to you guys.
I mean, I'm not gonna ask. I don't want to know, and I don't want you to ask me. Like, I mean, you can ask, and I'm gonna tell you, and then with that information. But
Morgan, if she say 75, you getting up from the table?
That's impressive, bro. My response would be probably what I just said. Like, I would make it a joke. Like she'd be like, probably like 75. I'd be like, dang, that is impressive. That's impressive. How did you pull that off? First off, you know what I'm saying? Like that's quite a feat. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I probably just make jokes about it and we talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, that would not throw me off.
100 ain't
Behavior,
gonna throw you off.
no. And this is the reason. One, all of us have a past.
I be doing the math in my head. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, that's fine.
I be sitting here like you 30 times divided by.
Hey, her whole face was thriving. You know what I'm saying? Like vibrant. You know what I mean? Like that's what that means. And I can't hate on it because I wasn't around for that. So, I'd
be doing the math in my head the whole time she's talking. I'd be like,
it would be useful information. It would be useful information, but I would not like be like. I'm trying to think of what deal break. That's what it was. That's what it was earlier. Deal breakers.
That's a good one. Top 5 deal breakers.
If you're not, yes, that is a good one. I'm about to put that down. But if you're coming into a relationship, top 5 deal breakers.
Yeah, I got a roll too.
Yeah.
So, go ahead. You could give you a closing thought, Arsenio.
Wow, that's an
you
honor.
know what? I got you.
That's an honor.
Steve Harvey.
That's even more of an honor. Thank you. I shouldn't say that. It's not even more of an honor. Both of them are very big honors. But I'll finish that point and then close out.
No, close this out.
The deal breakers things matters. So like how Rock was saying boundaries, I would say deal breakers. Like if you're not coming into the relationship knowing what your deal breakers are, that's not fair to you or the person that you're dating. I think you need to know what at least one of your deal breakers is. God dog, bro. Like, which goes to Rock's point on her list, self-awareness. You know what I'm saying? You need to have self-awareness for yourself and where your boundaries are. With that being said, it was just as good of an episode. I thought it was going to be. Danny, we'll get into that later. Next week, we'll do another topic similar to this one because I like these offbeat ones. I don't always want to do, I want to make sure we keep it mixed. Also, again, make sure I drop it again. Agents of Geekdom. We will be moving over to that YouTube. We'll be moving over to that YouTube stream Tuesday nights. Nothing changes on that. And Tuesday nights, 8 p.m. The show will be the exact same. We'll just be streaming from a different place, and it'll be stored in a different spot on Agents of Geekdom website on YouTube. Make sure y'all go check them out. Subscribe there now. You know what I'm saying? So when we switch over, you're already good. And I'll continue to remind y'all. So Agents of Geekdom on YouTube. There's also a group page on Facebook. So just to make sure you get used to that. Top 5 Live will still be a thing. You know what I'm saying? But we're just going to come up under that umbrella.
Before I leave, 8 p.m. Thursday, Stoke Podcast. We got Misty Oaks Paxton. Y'all tune in. Roxy, it's been a pleasure. Don't be a stranger. Y'all have a good evening.
Yeah, man. We appreciate the Queen coming back through. Appreciate Big Bro. And next week, I don't know what our topic's gonna be yet. But hopefully it will be another good one like this. We get into another conversation. I'll see if I can get Rock back. Busy woman, you know what I'm saying? She out here changing the world and coming up with new clothing lines that she's doing with her own hands, you know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you, Queen, for coming back through.
No problem.
We will see y'all next week, episode 60. And we'll announce the topic soon. So y'all go vote on the poll too. See y'all next week.
All right.